Alright, ladies and gents. How we doing today? After a couple pretty crazy results, I had scrims, so I didn't really catch everything. I know I was sending out some tweeters. I was getting some updates, but honestly missed a lot. As we're gonna try and balance. Alright, there we go. That's better for the music. Yeah, Zoo's almost won. I know. We're going to go over all that, but we got to do some housekeeping first. Also, so our guest today, I'm lucky enough to be joined by Maryville's head coach, Zoo, and then one of the analysts for Wildcard, Prussian, as well. We're going to get them in, in a sec, but we've got some housekeeping to do, as always. I've got to eat my trail mix, so I'm starving, and knowing Zoo and Prussian, it's probably going to go long, so probably good that I fuel up early. Sorry, guys. I also have been running the past couple days. Been really nice out, and I'm sore. Oh my god. The proving games are not up yet. Nice trophy. Thanks, Jake. I showed it off to the stream last time I went live. Jake's my fantasy football league. Good friend. Oh, I guess I have to get the LCS link then. Do I really have to go off the Twitch VoD? They don't have these uploaded yet? Alright, time to message Smacks. Smacks. Can you save me with full VoD link? and how do you find them so I don't have to DM you every time? I'll be taking links. Anyway, we're going to do the housekeeping real quick before we get started. So, what everyone comes here for, obviously, is to fuel my own ego with predictions, which we had our worst day yet. This is the first day. As you can see, most of them, I got perfected the first series every single day. I know the EGP IMT 1 second, but, they were supposed to be first. But yeah, we didn't have our best day today, so we are now 4-3-3. So I'm still 7 for 10, which is not bad. But not as good as we were at the start of the day. But that's okay. Always happy to get proved wrong by the young amateur people. Just watch it live and look in your history. Thanks, Max. Sorry, 1 sec, finish call. We're good. Wait, I just opened up Twitter and saw the tweet that Jake sent me. It's actually pretty fucking funny. It's a golf meme, guys. I will not share it on stream. Okay. Once Zoo's wrapped with his call, actually, you know what? Fuck it. We can get Prussian in here right now. Hop in. He def muted too. Usually, like, only I def mute, and like, you know, when I'm like, let's get Prussian in here, I undef mute, and then he hops in, and then we roll. But he's still def muted. As, I guess, Prussian. There he is. What's up, Prussian?
I'm well, and yourself?
Doing well. You want to introduce yourself to the stream real quick for anyone that, for whatever reason, may not know you?
Hello, my name is Prussian. I'm analyst for Wildcard, and I like to lurk around the amateur community and just have fun.
And he also has a really sick YouTube video, or YouTube channel you should check out with good videos. A lot of content around Academy and Amateur. We're still waiting on Zoo to pop on in. I don't think we'll get started without him here. We'll be friendly to our good friend, but we will. Oh my God! I just skipped to the perfect moment in the draft of Game 1. Would you look at that, friends? Already piss smurfing this. As yet another day of odd reviews with Kangas and Coco on the cast. I am kind of bummed I didn't get to listen, but we have scrims, which are all wrapped. Zoo is driving home from his scrims. He's got one more call, and then he's good to go with us. As when he introduces himself, we'll make sure he introduces himself with the head coach of Maryville too. I guess while we're waiting to like dive into like the initial games, Prussian, what was your overall like sentiment or diagnostic of today?
So I didn't catch all the games. I didn't catch game 1 of Zoo's first Cloud9, but generally I think we saw. I think Barrage. Just going back to last week's games, Barrage did a really good job exploiting TLA, and what I think we saw from Golden Guardians Academy versus TLA was a lot of the same from how Barrage attacked TLA. And for Cloud9 Academy versus Zeus, I think Zeus did a really good job playing to their strengths as a team, but I think Cloud9 just kind of were able to like mechanically gap them. Honestly, I feel like Cloud9 Academy versus Zeus was really reminiscent of Cloud9 Academy versus Mirage, just in the way the games played out. Not necessarily the way like the games happened, but just in how the games felt from my perspective.
Okay. I'm expecting to see lots of jungle tempos seeded then. That's all I got from that statement, right?
Yes, I would agree. Like a lot of it was around the jungle, actually. I feel like if the way I said that, I thought it would come off like, oh, Zoo's bottom lane's trying their best, but you know, they just can't carry. But exactly where a lot of jungle tempo was just seeded from Zeus, in my opinion.
Yeah. I know that their bot lane, like, Rhino pops off in fights from like the brief moments I saw and heard, but I also saw Raheen dying in lane twice, which is still a big problem for Zeus.
I agree. I think one strength that Rhino has relative to the other amateur and academy supports is he's really good at breaking out of lane, and he's really good at roaming on the correct times to influence jungle. He's really good at influencing lanes, and even on Radiance when we had Rhino there, because he was originally supposed to be a replacement for Cow because Cow didn't want to play. He was really good at breaking out of lane, and I really respect Scott for that.
He I heard that his rel is filthy, and I've seen his rel before and it's good, but I heard he was filthy. We also got Raheen in the chat saying, I'm not happy with performance thus far, but it's only a learning experience. Hey, you guys played C9 a lot closer than I thought you would, so props to you for that. So, yeah.
I agree. Rhino's rel is absolutely like filthy. His bard is insane, and his Nautilus is really good too. Like, especially his bard. Like, his bard reminds me a lot of, maybe not necessarily Chimes, but is someone who's really comfortable getting out of lane and just knowing when he can. Like, his AD carry, like, or AD carries, I should say, are very rarely punished whenever he leaves lane because he does it at very smart times, in my opinion.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. We've got Zoo out of the call, able to join us. See you there.
Yep. What's up?
Hell yeah. What's up, man? Hey, you just want to introduce yourself to the stream for anyone that, for whatever reason, doesn't know you?
Hello, I'm Zoo. I'm the guy that complains about shit on the internet, and sometimes I coach League of Legends. I'm here to do VoD.
Hell yeah.
Let's have a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was asking Prussian about the overall sentiment of today's games. I assume that you're in the same boat as me and you haven't caught all the games.
No, I was spot checking like while we were doing stuff, but
Yeah.
I got the general like gist of how the games went, but I didn't really like watch too many details.
Okay, cool. I am in the same exact boat. So I guess we might as well hop in right off the bat with a first pick Jinx, which is very curious to me. This is the game that I caught zero footage of. So this is real. I've never seen first pick. I'm gonna be honest. I've never seen first pick Jinx.
I think the first pick Jinx is okay, but I feel like personally the fact that you're not answering Tom Kench here on B2 into Varus Thresh, and
Yep.
then you're gonna have an Ori plus a Tom Kench and a Jinx. Like I feel like the maybe their prep was thinking that like they just want to give a matchup that'll scale top, since top Aloran plays like relatively low econ. So maybe they were trying to get like a GP matchup into like a Scion or something. Oh, they banned Scion actually, so as I see that. But
yeah. So my cam is
yeah.
always blocking first two bans. The first two bans are Hecarim Scion, which makes sense.
Yeah. So maybe they're just thinking they want to give Darshan more resources, but to me, like this rel pick seems not great. Pair's
it's
okay
countered by
with
Thresh.
Jinx.
Yeah.
Pair's okay with Jinx and Ori, but I think it's a pretty disrespectful pick into that B1, B2, or R1, R2, because that's just screaming for a Tom Kench.
Also,
in my opinion.
right now in LPL, we're seeing like pretty much every lane. It feels like is like Jinx Thresh versus like Jinx Tom against like a Senna Varus, pretty much with like paired with like Thresh. Like there's a lot of handshaking going on in LPL at the moment, like with those matchups. So I'm kind of curious to see the handshake not come in here too.
I agree. Yeah, I was just gonna run over a lot of the same points. I think Rel versus the Thresh is really random. In addition, like I don't like Rel into Varus either, because basically as Rel, in my opinion, you're kind of forced to either I feel like she can either go in or she can play counter engage, right? Whereas she doesn't have a whole lot of options into the really long range poke that Varus has. Also with Jinx, you want to play really front to back, and that's what we saw a lot from LPL. Like even LPL teams, they first pick the Jinx on blue side, but they always are trying to draft for these straight front to back team fights. And if you're capable of just out poking the Jinx, which we saw, I can't remember which series it was. It was FPX versus
JDG.
Yes, that's the one. FPX versus JDG. I think the Jinx still won, but the Varus was really, really close to just outscaling and just completely poking her out of the fights like throughout the game. And I feel like I agree, it's a really like disrespectful pick. I'd rather see the Tom Kench and they just play for the straight front to back with the Jinx first pick, because that's where I see it most successful.
For sure. If bot lane were to get advantages here, especially blue side, where I'd imagine that they're gonna leash Mundo, and then Skarner's gonna start top side, so this double range bot lane can push. I think if C9A Cads to get some heavy advantages, or if they're getting advantages, it's probably through GP6 or Ori getting first TP back into mid, or their jungler like escorting them and crashing like wave and getting timing. So I feel like anything that happens 2v2 is just like player diff in this matchup.
I concur.
Okay.
Yep.
I mean, C9 like still has the front to back team fight setup too with the Mundo, and definitely like has tempo in the jungle, which we've seen it be a consistent piece for them in draft with Shurnfire. So that doesn't really surprise me. Mitch Trubisky 69. Thanks for the follow. Can only imagine who that is.
I really don't like Mundo jungle, but I think this is actually a good situation for it.
I hate Mundo jungle, but it's okay here.
Yeah, maybe not great for on-hit Varus, where he's going to be able to grievous wounds you too, but like it's very, very clear that C9 did their homework versus Zeus. Like they utilized the fact that Zeus plays really passive scaling 2v2 mid jungle, and they have solid counter picks in top that are kind of more like independent, the Cho'Gath in this example, and then they like to play heavily through their bot lane. So it's very clear that like the GP and the Mundo were like premeditated things that they wanted to play into this team.
Yep. Yeah, and I like the GP a lot into the Skarner, and it feels like they have a decent front to back. Where like when you have two immobile like big carries, right, you can't control them with the GP. Lorum breaks out the Cho'Gath here, which I think is a great R5 pick. I think it's really good use. It's gonna get zoned out a little bit by the Ori, but you have a decent lane matchup into the GP. It's really good in the Mundo because he drops health when he ults, and so like it does bring him at threat shortly to like be chained, and also like the silence can like combine with Skarner. It's really oppressive if they are able to front to back. So yeah.
Two last pieces I just want to hit on before we go into game is I actually really like. I don't always like the Mundo. I agree with you, but I really like the Mundo here, especially into a player like RBM, who's usually stuck. I don't want to say stuck, but he usually prefers these like utility champions. Like I don't really want to call Udyr a utility champion, but I mean he's kind of known as like a stun bot for a reason, right? He just runs around and stuns you. Where Mundo gets free tenacity in his kit from his W, and it goes pretty insane here versus the Varus, versus the Thresh, even like Skarner. And the other one is I really like the Cho'Gath versus Gangplank matchup in particular. It's really good because the auto reset on his E, which is something very few tanks have.
Yep, for sure.
Okay, so Rhino's fishing level 1. They get a ward down on red. Darshan is... He's in here.
Deep.
He's deep. Oh my, okay.
Yeah.
That's got to have worked versus like a couple random teams or some shit. Like,
this is awkward.
This is really random.
I feel like Zeus does not want... Zeus doesn't want this at all. Yeah.
So since he started Q on Mundo, if he loses this buff, his clear is actually going to be really slow. He's going to be forced to start a buff.
Yeah, but Zeus doesn't want this at all because their level 1 is significantly weaker.
This is so troll. Like they have a winning bot lane, and like their jungler does not need to be ahead of Mundo to do his job. Like you should just split map here, and you're super happy split map. And if Thresh gets first base in a lane where he's already going to get prio, then you alleviate your mid matchup and you get first Drake. Like,
he also started Eon Skarner, so he's also locked into doing a buff, and it's going to be really hard for him to do a leashless.
That's brutal.
Yeah, that's really brutal. I wonder if he could have started Q. Well, they lost Spire, actually. I wonder if RBM... I'm not sure the specifics on like the first camp of Skarner without the Spire, because the Spire is so important, but I wonder if RBM could have just done the Raptors there, cleared down, and then played with bottom priority to try to invade Mundo's bot side.
Yeah, potentially, but I don't know like if he's gonna have like mid prio in this matchup really. So that could be tough.
The way you get the mid prio is you two wave crashes Thresh and then you move.
No, but I meant like mid, like for like the Victor.
Yeah, and like
Ori.
the 1v1 is what you mean, I think.
Yeah, but that's why in the first 3 waves, like Victor and Ori, they can keep it relatively even. So if you just crash because you're splitting map bot, if you just crash Thresh can use a short window to just move mid and pressure the Ori, so Victor can get prio.
Honestly, as weird as it is, RBM actually like recovered okay.
Yeah. One last thing I want to say is just as a mid laner in this matchup, it's actually really hard for Ori to get prio level 1 because Victor Q is so strong.
Yeah, you lose level 1, but then you get wrecked.
Yes, absolutely. And Ori Q starts cost a lot of mana early. This is fucking crazy.
Wait, okay, this is actually really cracked though from Alorum. Because I think that he crashed.
Yes, he did. He did a 3-wave crash and a cheater reset TP on this. I've seen this. I've seen this happen a lot.
That's good play.
Our development team does this a lot. Portia, he always plays 3 waves. Usually we do it on the bot side though, where Portia will TP on the enemy bot side buff, and it seems more of the same. I feel like I don't know how many teams do this, to be honest. I've never seen it happen in like a major region. But it's definitely something that I've told Portia to do, and it's worked in the past. And it's interesting to see. I didn't watch this game, but it's interesting to see this happen in like a big PG game.
We did that a ton at Maryville when TF was more meta. And,
you would
just
TP
call
level
it
4.
Like we 3-wave gank mid, and then he crashes, and then jungle paths top on flow stack, and then he TPs from base.
A true T-Shirma enthusiast.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, we just call it the G2.
Oh, dude, no, it's the teacher ma. It's the teacher ma. All right, so this is actually really good too. For Skarner gets the second Raptor on his side. and Shern has nothing to do, so he's just bumming around bot where he actually gets spotted.
Well, I would
So
say both teams. I would say both teams so far have had one instance where they are just fighting something for absolutely no reason.
yeah,
I completely agree.
it's a
Like
Zeus game, so I expect more of
Shern
that.
saw the ward go down, and
Yeah.
that's an ego chow. If you
Yeah.
want to Call of Duty terms, like
Oh,
that's an ego chow right there.
speaking of ego chows, we're gonna flip the crab when we're down a level in jungle, and not get lantern.
Holy shit, this game is a complete burger fiesta.
Okay.
Which is so funny because these comps is just the polar opposite. This should just be 2 full clears. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I think RBM's fine just taking his other camps and eating crab. It's not the worst thing in the world.
Uh, who got top crab? I don't even remember. RBM did.
RBM
so he's
got
just playing
top
for
crab,
double
yeah.
crab. So he's
Yeah.
basically just greeting.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
agree.
Huh.
He doesn't. Well,
I mean, it doesn't even matter if you got top crab or not. Like, you can't greed in that situation.
I agree. Like, I'm just thinking, how screwed over is RBM gonna be? Like, obviously, I don't think he can fight it either way. But
Yeah,
I'm
I always
wondering
just went
how
flash for
behind will he
flash
be?
with Raheen too, which I like.
Oh, this one flash.
Yeah,
Well,
he went
depending on
flash
what
for flash
happens-
off screen.
Oh, he
depending
got
on what
one
happens
flash.
with Rel's base here, I think Rel has the opportunity to actually have an impactful base here.
Yeah, and go mid.
Because you saw
Just get a big
copy,
timer.
TP'd mid first,
Mhm.
and then Darkwings has to TP back. But Darkwings has to TP back here into a freeze. Copy's freezing the way he should be, and then he has first support move in a mid. You're gonna see Darkwings most likely is gonna TP back, and then
Oh,
Rel's
they
gonna be able
caught
to
it in the
pressure mid.
replay. Attaboy, observers.
Okay, so you see both supports hovering.
Yeah, this is good from Rhino.
I caught it in the replay, but Darshan also burned his TP. So his Alarm's TP is actually going to be up slightly before Darshan's, which is pretty consequential for when these bottom lanes are going to be hitting 6, in my opinion, which is like right now. His TP is just going to be up really far before Darshan.
I know that
though.
I know that Alorum had a red buff, but is this matchup supposed to be this like Cho'Gath up this hard?
No, he lost flash at level 1.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yep.
Lost flash at level 1. It's actually like the auto attack reset and the wave clear and all that stuff is really good, but like one of the biggest things with it is that GP just doesn't have enough damage early to kill Cho with base HP, and then Rupture is what like really fucks with GP.
This
You know,
is
you just get free gang setup. Like he can never run at you because you can just Rupture, and he has to move left or right. Like, and then you just walk away. Like it's really tough. So if you have no flash and then he's like putting points on a Rupture, it's really hard.
It's also, I'm sorry, I just wanted to hit on one last thing.
No, go.
Cho'Gath passive is crazy for attacking GP's mana. Like, really insane for attacking mana.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So RBM loses his bot side because his bot's getting shoved in. This is like still more consequences from like the bot crab flip, honestly. The fact that they don't have flash. Also, important to note that Raheen is going for, we didn't talk about, you can't go 3 different keystones on Varus as
looks like he's going on hit.
Yeah.
For the Mundo. I mean, to be honest, like this is where, so I think in with this team, he has to be the carry like that, where he has to go on hit. Ultimately, I would like to see lethality with an R5 pick that's maybe something like a Jace, you know, and that's just, you know, it's a different team style.
This is so awkward. Sorry.
Oh, that's cool.
Look at how awkward this is.
Why does RBM not pop vision, or not pop vision, but pop the blast? I don't understand this. Why is he just like keeping it up?
Like getting in there? Yeah.
Yeah. Why doesn't he just knock it down in advance? Is it because he wants to use it if he has to like escape? I think. But either way, I think it's very random to just keep it up.
The only reason potentially is that Ori has TP advantage.
Yeah,
that's the only possible reason. But to me, honestly, that doesn't even make much sense.
This ends up just being so awkward because like they're trying so hard to crash it here, and
yeah, he's just trading way too much HP too.
Yeah. And he just sticks the recall there, which is actually kind of hilarious.
So
and honestly, the right play for him, but still.
Go back a little. I want to point something out. Can you scroll back a few? So if you pause here, okay, a little bit. So, okay, yeah. Just go to the start of it. I want to see something. I want to point something out. This is it. This is irrelevant, I think. I wanted to point out here that Raheem still didn't have flash, and he basically he can't challenge the Mundo invading because he doesn't have flash, and then he just basically dies because he has no flash.
Yeah.
But he uses oranges here. Well, what is RBM doing? He can just run under the tower and use Impale.
Oh, like once he uses orange.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, he doesn't have flash up, but I think that they still would have gotten away with it.
Yeah, or at least he would have gotten the flash.
It would have been close. It would have been close.
There's almost like no angle that Darshan can flash
so
to
awkward.
avoid this.
Yeah, it was just so awkward.
I mean, even then, I would just be okay with just getting the flash. You crash the wave, and then you facilitate Alarm's base. And then that's pretty chill because, I mean, even if he flashes out, you base with Cho'Gath and you get a free base because you crash the wave because Darshan has to flash out.
Based on how this game has gone so far, it's really surprising that he didn't just go for that under turret because what I've seen from the first 10 minutes is that individuals have just been full sending.
Yeah.
And,
If we're gonna full send anything, we don't full send the right play, right?
Well, the Shern trying to contest his blue was Eco Chow for sure, and then a lot of the stuff that's what's going on in bot near Scuttle and all that. It just seems like everybody individually hearts racing on red, and then blue just disrespect.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised. That's why it's so weird that he was so passive. I know Peyton's no ult. He'd flash under the turret there.
Oh my god, does it work? It kind of works. I would never Skarner ult a Mundo. That dude has free tenacity on his W. Well, actually,
yeah,
I don't think the tenacity works on the Skarner ults.
This is really awkward because Darkwing
doesn't even have his items yet.
Darkwing's isn't here. This feels really forced, but also there's nothing else for them to do.
You know what well, no, there's definitely something to do. You're not going to get Drake, but
take top camps.
You have a Victor Cho.
Yeah.
You have a Victor Cho, and your bot lane's on a base, so they can't get dove. You're going to give second Drake. You can play for 3. Just play for gold so that you can get your components, or get your item spikes.
Yeah, so play...
top shoving. All 3 of your top side camps are going to be up. You can get vision on top side.
Look at bot wave while that was happening, by the way.
It crashed, yeah.
No, the most important wave to look at was mid. To be honest, if you look at mid,
off the map too.
Yeah,
they're also losing bot wave.
For
it's
sure.
kind of crazy that they go for this.
I've specifically tweeted about that today because, it was said on Twitter that this team plays really fearlessly and stuff, and I said that they play most fearlessly when they are reacting to the enemy team, and it's usually when they're reacting, their wave states are really, really bad. So they're trying to just react to Mundo being alone there, but their mid's not even in lane. They're losing a mid wave. They're losing a bot wave.
Yeah, it's forced.
They have opportunity to cross map. That's where I feel having no fear, that's not a positive thing always, right? You can't just full send and say it's a good fight because you're confident. It's just they have a bad map state, and it's if they get killed in that situation, then blue just gets to base to good wave states, and then they just get to keep controlling the game.
Yeah.
This play could have happened. This play could have happened 45 seconds ago.
Yeah. Also, where did the Herald go? That RBM had. Was it dropped mid?
Upstate.
Yeah. Was it dropped at all?
I don't think so. I could be wrong. I think he died. I think when he died at the dragon,
it timed out.
That was when it timed out.
Yeah, so that should have been, take top camps and then go for Herald drop top instead of going to contest.
For a fact that blue is going to use their tempo on second Drake. And if you're behind as red team and you're planning on scaling with Victor and Cho'Gath, you should be happy that blue is using their tempo on second Drake as opposed to just stuffing you on the opposite side of the map.
See, this is... I know that, we've been criticizing Zeus, and I'd say rightfully so far, but this is also why I think that they actually can keep on continuing to press Academy teams. And
sure.
I mean, with TL out now, and then C9, them playing a pretty close series against them, I think that it's no question they're going to. But both TPs that Alorum has sent this game have just been so good. They're able to find these angles no one else can. This is a doomer situation for RBM. Darkwings is chunked, but Alarm TP's in here. He has the timer. Darshan just burned his in the top side, and all of a sudden they just turn a doomsday play into gold. They do this consistently. Like,
Can
yeah.
you go back like 20 seconds and play it out from when it first started? I want to look at the waves again.
So Darshan TP's top to catch the wave because Lorem is winning
Okay.
the matchup.
Sure.
And then he just backs off immediately, like, while this play is going on, and he's like, okay, like, let's go. Like, he just TP's in and completely saves the game again.
This is really rushed from C9. Like,
Yeah.
they have so much pressure. Like, they should be aiming to pull Darkwing's TP on mid turret before stepping in. But they moved into jungle knowing that both solo lanes had TP on an even wave state. Like, so this is, again, I don't want to be like a Debbie Downer or anything like that. I'm just trying to make sure that we look at both sides of the coin. Like, I think Alorum had 2 effective TPs, but I think C9 griefed both those situations like pretty hard.
I'll give Alorum the benefit of the doubt heavily on the first one.
Look,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, credit has to go over
Yeah.
to him because even though the enemy team griefs, you still have to punish the mistake, right? So the punish is good.
Yeah, I think that the first one,
But
like, they
they're
called the
kinda-
pathing a Shern fire, like, and they caught him with his pants down, like RBM.
Well,
Like,
I mean,
recovered well.
Shern,
It was a good.
Shern stood there and watched Victor put the ward down, and then he walked forward. Like, he's standing in front of the ward, and then saw the ward go down and walked forward to contest it. You know, like that's not like, to me. Sure, you're capitalizing on a mistake, but that's not like some like, holy fuck, what a great play. Like,
Yeah.
that's. And then I kind of see it there too. Like, they have an opportunity to just crash both waves, deny both carries before they step in. They can still get the play that they want.
Yeah.
But they just rush.
Yeah, no, that was rush for sure.
This is what Zeus is really good at, though. Like, Zeus is good at just punishing when enemy teams try to play too fast.
Yeah,
and, like,
Alorum finds crazy angles consistently. Like,
Mhm.
that's what the team does. And then they have, like, as the game goes on, Darkwings and Raheem become a very solid. Like, they don't like make major like blunders for the most part, like in fights, right? Like, they usually just pick the scale and then they scale. And I know that's what ended up happening in game 2, but we still have to watch this one play out because they're forced contest. But this is a good
The other
setup.
thing I just want to point out, because I think we've been missing it, but I feel like Isles has been making really good use of the bottom priority that they've been getting.
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
game.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's just like, since we're so focused on like, this is meta, but I'm not concerned that we're focusing on the meta thing, on the bad things. But since you guys are, I feel like that's like a good thing to point out, is that I think both of these supports are actually quite good at making moves around the map. And Isles in that instance went mid and he just burned Darkwing's flash. That makes it really hard for him to play around the Mundo and team fights. So
yeah, you saw once in the early game too, where Rel was going to get first move, and instead of taking base, Rhino just like moved through jungle defensively and was able to match mid.
Look at the another C9. This is good from C9 too. Zeus is dropping both sides to try and contest this, and then C9 get it, so they just win out huge here. Yeah, that's good. It's good lane setup from C9.
Top wave is quite bad for Zeus, unfortunately. So they're actually losing across the map while this is happening too.
Oh yeah, no, they lost waves in both lanes. Bot lane just crashed against them as well.
So they're kind of getting bled out here, which is pretty bad.
Yeah, that's kind of how the playstyle is, though. It's,
absolutely.
How their playstyle is. Like, I think the way Zeus loses games is by losing waves.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's just like, I don't really think there's many teams that are patient. Like, we've seen 2 instances now where we saw like TLA play pretty disrespectfully their first series, and then like you see like there's pretty disrespectful decisions going on here too. So like
that, like the TLA thing, like we'll get to that like in the second series, but like that just blows my mind. That because like Northern Arena, they're like the series against FlyQuest was actually a really good best of 5, where like both teams were making pretty damn good decisions. Like and then like I see TLA like walking past 2 wards in the mid river, like when they just traded their mid for support. Like Barrage has a flank TP. So, it's like, whoa.
I like this flank from Isles, but also I think it's repulsive and should never happen, if that makes sense. Like,
meaning like Zeus should never allow it?
Yeah, pretty much.
They're moving into tier 2 Krug's vision in the jungle without warning the entrance.
Wait,
no, I think that Prussian meant like the original flank from Isles.
Yeah, I mean, both of them. Why not? Like, I think they're both quite repulsive. Truthfully.
Yeah, because so like the way that he got here,
right here,
the way that he got here to clarify is like I drew the line. Like that was his path because C9 was positioned in the bot river, right?
Okay.
I mean, it's spotted by Zeus. I think that Isle should be looking to flank. Like, if they're like looking to front to back, like if he's able to find a good engage, I mean, like he can just end the fight, right?
I don't think it should be allowed.
So I don't think that he should go over here. But like, I think that if he's hovering like up here, like he does have a pocket and like threatening like in this choke to like prevent Zeus from like walking in, I think it's good.
If you're Zeus and you see 4 in the river, and you have 1 ward on your left flank, and then you have 2 pinks around you, like what you should be doing is you should be trying to sniff out the flanker.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dark
Wings does do that. Yeah.
And as soon as he shows, like they should all full send on that.
Right,
yeah,
but yeah.
Okay, even if they lose the dragon, look at what else is up on the map, right? They can move to Rift Herald, they can move to topside, they can take a tower. That's all gold. Like that's a mechanism for getting back into the game. They can take the enemy raptors while they're like stuck on this dragon, and they're just like getting dragon. One can base, Darkwings can base, and just hold bot wave while this is all happening. Like afterwards, like there's so many answers here, but I feel like Zeus are really stuck in this way of thinking where we have to fight to get back in this game. Like we can't give up an inch. They're like
that's not just them though. To be fair, that's
every amateur team.
Yo, that's honestly that was one of the biggest things that crippled my team was
it's every
we
amateur
just kind of
team,
hit a rut and we just felt like in game, like when we're talking in review, our trade timers and like our cross map timers just are really clear and we're on the same page with that. But then when it comes down to like in the game, it was just like I don't know, blood rush, man. Like we just felt the need to like even though like we're second to the map like every time we feel the need to contest the drakes, and it's just it's I don't know, I really want to see teams in the next like 6 months get better at cross mapping and contesting things that aren't just drakes, because it feels like right now it's just a 5v5 fight every 5 minutes, either midway for Brio or in bot river.
2 things. One, if you're ready for a 5v5 fight every 5 minutes, you'll love the TL series. But what I will say is, this is by no means like unique to even amateur. Like even LCS, like they totally have these issues where they'll like just fight when they're down gold, when there's objectives on the other side of the map, and they just refuse to vertical or like trade vertically.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
And like I would say almost every team in amateur does that. It's just a really good instance of like, wow, like it's quite egregious, and I think Zeus are just kind of particular in that regard. That's what I think When Her Thieves Next was actually fantastic at. They were great at trading vertically. But
them and then Five Fire played side lane really well.
Absolutely.
Last summer. So like I specifically remember we had to sit down in VoD for like 2 hours and just talk about when we were going to play them, how we want to answer side lanes. And it was like, I really hope that, I don't know, I just feel like people see Dragon as like the win condition, as opposed to just like, I would love to see more teams in the near future allow enemies to take Drakes so that they can get their jungler ahead.
Sorry,
like I just wish that was more of a thing.
Yeah, I mean, like
going down 2 Drakes every game, but having a 3,000, 4,000 gold lead and taking like outer side turrets so that you can play 2 lane and have a neutral lane. Like I take that 10 times out of 10, to be honest.
I think in this meta right now, I agree.
Yeah, I just don't understand why people are taking these like triple scaling team fight comps and then they're fighting over first Drake.
Isles has had a really good game.
Yeah. And I mean, this really just came down and just like the player is good, and even though it's bad matchup, it still works.
Yeah, Isles had a really good game.
The level of support between last SGC and this PG has improved dramatically as far as the amateur side is concerned.
I remember some of the tier 2s, and I can't agree with the tier 2s. But now that we've gotten like into Academy, Academy's got some good supports in there.
Yes. So,
and I mean, the highlight supports of amateur are also good. Like
like last time, like the best support was like Winter was all right, and Shady was, I think, okay, I'm not gonna lie.
Shady was best support.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Zoo. I think Shady's fallen off pretty hard. Like he is just not as good as he was. But that's also because supports have gotten better and have gotten way better at punishing all the illegal things he does.
Supports have gotten a lot better.
About like recently?
Well, recently, like between last SG and this PG, supports have gotten a lot better at punishing the things that Shady do that are extremely
Sure.
illegal.
I mean, I think we just have a new team.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of X, a little bit of Y. You know.
Yeah, it's definitely a combination. Like we definitely underperformed, pretty bad.
But-
Like on the player side and the staff side. So you know, is what it is.
Yeah.
Zeus
I
is
think
still seeding everything.
all
It's
the
actually
sports-
hilarious watching Mundo like just stop Zeus from like ever making a play because they haven't found
Yeah.
any angles.
That's like really big strength of Mundo too. It's really hard to engage on him because of his W. Like the tenacity is just so insane. And he also has 2 items. Well, he has 3 items if you want to count boots, but I mean, Deadman's is just such a egregious item. What do you guys think about Gangplank builds? I mean, Divine Sunder. I usually don't like to talk about builds because it's really low hanging fruit, but I feel like I don't know. I don't know much about Gangplank builds. Do you guys?
I'm gonna get hung from the rafters for saying this, but I'm the boomer that my answer is always gonna be I don't care about the build until we get the fundamentals correct.
Okay,
Like,
that's fair.
You know, obviously, like in a match, like you obviously you want to catch the right builds and you want to catch when players are building incorrectly and stuff, and we actively do that. But
This game's over.
the 2 things that drive me absolutely insane when looking at games is when a game happens and someone says, I should just pick this champ instead, or when someone says like, I shouldn't have built this way, we would have won.
Yeah, I agree.
Like maybe in top level play that actually has impact, but like sure, at this level it could have impact too, but the things that you're missing out on that you're not seeing are far greater, or will have far greater impact. So it's just I don't like when people put a ton of energy into that stuff and then they don't put energy into the other fundamental aspects of the game.
Yeah, I generally agree.
Sunder is fine in the Shogath. Like it's not the most efficient item in the world, but against a health stacker like that, it's fine.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, and then on to game 2. This was like these last 2 games from Cloud9 were insane ego drafts. Like
Okay.
I know we just talked about how we don't like to talk about draft that much, but these were pretty egregious in my opinion.
I'm really surprised that C9 prioritizes Jinx so much in this matchup against Raheen.
To me, I think it's
especially when Thresh was like already banned second.
So this might be like a not as popular thing, but I think one of the things that's important when you're scouting a team is you want to try to put yourself in their shoes and kind of think about what they're thinking rationally and emotionally in series. And so for me, like the notes that I have for Zeus was just maybe they've been different since, but if they go down in a series, RBM's going to want to come for pick. And into Lilia, it's always going to be Kha'Zix or Kayn or Blue Kayn. So it's like for me, I think it's really, really odd double banning tops when you're going to give your top R5 anyway, and then giving him the exact like winning 2v2 that they want. Like this, this to me is just like the only 2v2 that Zeus can play into Lucian Lilia that will contest early.
Gangplank in the Scion is like fine too, right? Like you get pushed in, but you can play the matchup.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd agree with that.
I mean, if they B4 B5 Scion, you just play Aatrox here. Like you don't even have to play GP. You can just play Aatrox.
That too.
And then what do they have? They have a Syndra Kha'Zix to try to burst you, right? Like
I feel like playing Aatrox, at least in the 5v5, is actually a little bit difficult because
into Trish Gragas, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I was just gonna say all the disengage mechanisms on Zeus. I think like the really rough thing to think about with this game is, or just throughout the day, is there are 3 games where amateur teams use Ezreal to counterpick themselves, and it just really confused me because
I have no idea.
You mean Ezreal and the Trist?
Yeah, that's a Trist favorite matchup.
It's so like I mean you end up playing like weak side and like, but the Ezreal like in the Trist like you do outrange it pretty heavily early.
Yes, but okay, here's the problem, and
Halo Blades is the problem. That's the problem. Yeah.
We talked about this so much on Scouting Ground Circuit, and I was talking about it with Andy, and we always talk about this, but Tristana absolutely dunks on Ezreal, and the reasoning why isn't necessarily because Tristana kills Ezreal. It's that Ezreal has very like limited forms of wave clear throughout the early game and laning phase, and Tristana will just get your plates, especially if you have a winning support matchup, which Zeus do have because they picked Rel on 2 and is
It's
Thresh
Kraga
even
support.
banned?
It's Kraga support. Yeah,
Yes, that's
Thresh
what
was
I
banned
mean.
second. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
but regardless, like Gragas is insane into Rel, like, and even like with Tristana, like they're just gonna get your plates, and it just feels so bad. And then you, the next thing is you blind Lucian, which is fine, but like the good thing about Lucian right now is his best like control mage counter pick in Syndra is really bad because of AP itemization and how much AP Syndra needs to be effective.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really matter because you're using this Lucian to get priority for the Lilia, and Syndra is like a rare case where in laning phase, Lucian can't consistently get priority into the Syndra by the way of how she spikes at 6 and how her E works, or just how her trade patterns work. And because of that, since they don't have priority bottom lane for the reasons that is listed, and they don't get priority mid lane for the reasons that is listed, they basically just choose Lilia and they give RBM the perfect opportunity to pick like this weird niche counter to Lilia that he just mains in solo queue. And it's really weird. It's like they fell for Zeus's really obvious trap. It's crazy. It's like some Wile E. Coyote shit.
Yeah, because if I
to
see this duo and like I have Trist, like I think that the picks that Zeus have here are fine, but I would have also really thought about grabbing Lilia here and just like denying the combo, right? Because like then you force an Italy pick out of C9 if like they want to contest that and still have AP jungle, right?
I think I don't think you have to do that necessarily.
No, like you don't have to, but give us like another option for Zeus that like they had. And like they go for the Gragas Cinder instead, which I mean once again like what Prussian's saying, right? Like kind of playing into the fact that like, hey, maybe Zeus did have a game plan to get RBM Kha'Zix, right?
I personally wouldn't do that against Shern. Because you B2, B3 Gragas and Lilia here, and then Shern slams Nidalee. And Nidalee Rel Lucian definitely on a timer, but something that I do not want to give Shern fire for sure. And considering like C9's bot lane has been smurfing it, yeah, I feel like that wouldn't be the best combination. But like this 2v2 for C9 is still fine. Like, you know, Syndra can't really do much until she gets stunned at level 3, and then at level 3 she's not even prio, she's set up for her jungle, right? So you need winning jungle matchup, which they do have, to be fair. But like before Syndra even hits 6, you can cycle Kha'Zix's Raptors twice.
Yep.
You know, so it's like if you're able to just get that advantage, then I don't even think Syndra 6 matters that much. But if you watch some of like the LPL and stuff, you will see supports that even get like pushed in. They'll sack half a wave or a wave to try to move and fight those Raptors respawns. And if one of those goes bad for Lilia, and I feel like the game's over. But I haven't watched this game. This is actually the game I didn't see at all.
This is the game that I caught the most of.
All I know is that I literally saw them hitting Nexus, and it was Kha'Zix Syndra, and I'm like, oh, that's why they won. They had a jungle mid 2v2 that actually had pressure. And they probably smurfed it, to be honest.
This game was the Darkwing show.
Yeah,
I
feel like, I mean, even then, like, I still feel like it's really hard to pressure Syndra. Like, I understand
you can't dash in for sure.
Exactly. Like for that exact reason. Like
you still get
good
XP. You can still get like XP advantage if you choose to freeze and zone her with like jungle or first support base. But like, and then at that point you can always just like culling to clear wave and take your base timer at 6. And I mean, you definitely can't hard punish, but pre-6 Lucian is still Lucian, and then I mean, this is kind of like the perfect 2v2 for Zeus, to be honest. This is literally the perfect team comp for Zeus to have.
Yes, exactly.
That's a lot of comfort.
No surprise that this ended in a dub, to be honest, because this is actually perfect for their team. Like, this is purely allowing their wildcard like jungler to just, you know, go off and just be himself, and then you know, Darkwing's on a champion that punishes the enemy making mistakes. And, you know, with how the series has gone so far, I think that's the perfect setup.
I know that
Yeah.
this is like a bit of backtracking, but I'm actually kind of disappointed that Lilia didn't contest either of, like, didn't contest the Raptor camp. We're just like going back to like level 1 setup. I don't know why she's cornering bot to top here. If Gangplank is like gonna donkey base, right? I feel like that this could be a setup. Like there are no wards that are dropped here by Zeus. Like this, like you can do a lot of crazy shit on Lilia, right? Like you can do Raptors Wolves and like steal those. That'd be risky with the path that RBM's taking, but I'm bummed that C9 don't try and get any deep vision at down level 1 to like try and help Surenfire like plan a path around that, right?
Yeah, I mean, even on top of that, I think. Hold on. When was that red ward placed? Was that placed by? Who was that placed by? That ward on the pixel bush.
It was placed by Rel. It was
okay,
placed
I'm
very
just-
early. Also, Incon in the chat said that Alorum's hanging around late, so it's placed here, like immediately.
Okay.
Incon in chat said that Alorum's sitting here late to prevent any late invade from Lilia.
Right.
Okay.
I just wanted to see when this ward goes down, so I want to see how much like the vision before Shuren could invade RBM to see how much time their bottom lane would perhaps have to rotate. Like, yeah, that's actually a pretty good amount of like.
So Nick, it's not about late invade. In my opinion, it's just you go Raptors to Raptors and you walk through mid. So Warden can't cover for that unless he's gonna sacrifice TP.
Well, okay, so Zeus also dropped a word to cover that as well, which I like. This is good.
Sure, but it's like what I'm saying here. It's still a risk, and you know, if C9 feels like they're the better team, then maybe they don't have to risk it. But a stack at level 1 is not going to prevent it if you just go Raptors to Raptors, and then you use your winning mid matchup at level 1.
Yeah, but Lilia can't do that in this matchup.
Yes, she can. She absolutely can.
Raptor against Syndra?
Yes, absolutely. Syndra is not a winning matchup in Solution until level 3.
Yeah, but Gragas can
And
get pulled
fixed.
up too easily.
Sure, and then Gragas gets pulled up, and then what do? You just leave, right? Like
Yeah.
Lily is still going to clear faster than Kha'Zix, and you're still going to have mid prio. So
Yeah, I'm more bummed that
like
like
you're the one in control. Like what I'm trying to say is you're the one in control as red, and you don't have to late invade. You can still make it happen. It's somewhat risky. It's obviously more risky than full clearing, but they're the ones that have the incentive, and a stack at level 1 is not going to fully defend it if they play it right.
Yeah, it just feels like that. Like I know that C9 is like level 1 across the board isn't the best, but like the setup that they have for Lilia, it is like just to make sure they secure top crab, and like you can do so many fun paths with Lilia. I'm just like, I know that like part of it is like they didn't have the setup with like the champs they picked, but also I'm just like bummed they like didn't try and like pull off one of those setups like get Lilia ahead in camps. And I know that Surenfire like does get a little bit ahead earlier with like some like other good play, but they had an opportunity to do so. Or
something that's important here
tough,
too.
yeah.
Something that's important here too. I know I was kind of like bagging on Sharn in the first game, but you know that's just because he's a buddy. Like, he definitely doesn't just he's not just a flipper. Like he's very well thought out about his aggression, and I just honestly sometimes it's a flip, like for real. Sometimes it's just a flip, but I think sometimes in NA like we see things as a flip that really aren't, and yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
If Ka gets red leash, Lilia can't Raptors to Raptors, right? Yes, but then you're just gonna have mid and top prio, and then you can invade top side of the map. Like that's where Lilia goes Raptors or like Raptors red Krugs or whatever, and then she walks through top side, and then she's able to take top camps.
Yeah, I mean, in
Some
my
option.
opinion, just thinking about where the enemy is headspace wise, I feel like from Shuren's perspective, it's not really necessary to like go for it if that makes sense, because I'm pretty sure like. You know, obviously Lilia is supposed to outpace Kha'Zix anyway. It's on Kha'Zix to make those interactions happen.
Yeah.
And I feel like Surenfire doesn't really feel the need to run into the Kha'Zix and take away his camps when he can basically, quote unquote, like passively take away those camps just by like farming faster.
Yeah, and that's what he does throughout the game.
Sure, I think Kha'Zix that's behind in farm is still going to have similar impact though in mid game in side lanes and stuff like that.
You kind of like you need some
Like, I don't
gold.
think Kha'Zix. I don't think you need to have 5 kills on Kha'Zix to be relevant.
I mean, absolutely. I'm just thinking from like an XP perspective. Like
Sure.
you're gonna hit those breakpoints faster than Kha'Zix, and then you have those opportunities to make like not necessarily like I don't want to say safe because I feel like safe actually has a really like bad connotation in
does.
the community.
Yeah, it does.
But like just like maybe free is like a better word. Like low cost. Like
Sure. Yeah.
advantages.
Yeah. Low risk.
Yeah, low
Like,
risk. That's a good example.
That
Like,
sort of stuff.
yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
good
So
from
with
copy.
the jungle matchup, I 100% agree. Like you outpace in the jungle matchup and stuff. I just feel like the mid matchup gets harder for your mid laner
yeah,
the longer the game
exactly.
goes. So I feel like you should have more agency to utilize this mid matchup early because like the Syndra, if she gets put behind, like it doesn't even matter if she hits 6. Like Lucian's just gonna run her over.
I completely agree. And the other thing is I think that's something that even good junglers have a hard time thinking about is like how matchups really change throughout the game.
Yep.
It's a really good example of that.
They just see push or pushed in and then winning or losing sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. As opposed to like how dynamic they really are. Just as an example, I used to run this matchup Lucian versus Syndra against Young when he was on Radiance a lot. And basically what we found is whoever got the Syndra after first base would win. Like
nice, Dark Knights. That was a great kill.
Yeah, it was.
Go ahead though. Sorry.
Nah, you're good. But after that was a really good like demonstration of it, where even though like he is obviously a way better player than me, like if you're on Syndra, the matchup just feels way more playable after the first base, and right there we just see Coffee just be completely disrespectful.
100%.
Like
Yeah, you
right
can't
after you
dash
get
in.
that base off, it's so much easier for Syndra to play the game.
Oh, we didn't even
like
dash in.
Wolfie's a really strong Syndra, and you know he's been playing the champ forever. But so like this is like one of those things that like we've always felt really comfortable playing Syndra into Lucian Lilia because teams are usually a bit too chicken shit to go Raptors to Raptors or late invade or cause anything to happen. And it's like usually what happens in those games is like, you know, probably 3 or 4 examples in the Google Drive of Lilia being like a level and a half, sometimes even 2 levels up, and then the Lucian's like 1 and 4.
Yep.
And then you have no siege, no nothing. It's really hard.
Yeah, and I mean, like, going back to, like, another point about, like, this, like, the only reason that RBM, like, is now down 3 camps is because, like, he just elected to take the dragon, right, which he does pretty fast as the Kha'Zix, and the ability to, like, sneak that is pretty good. Once again, I know that the C9 finally, like, they get a play and a timer here, but I would have liked to see them, like, try and push a little bit earlier to, like, do something and take advantage, like, Lucian pre-first base. I think that the like starting on top side and invading blue might have been the right call for them. They could have had Lucian and GP help there. It would have been really tough to respond.
Can you go back a little? I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just want to see something because I feel like Rhino could have started roaming earlier, and I feel like this is like a really obvious timer that the enemy could take to invade on top side because.
So yeah, he helps out with Dragon, and then Raheen just catches this wave, and so I think that Rhino is.
Oh. Look at
him. Okay.
Yeah, so he could have based him walk top with Kha'Zix
okay,
there.
so
yeah.
100%. So this is something I like to tell supports is like when you're currently executing like what you need to execute on your side of the map, you need to F key your opposite map lanes, and you need to see what's up because like that right there, you understand Red is not contesting you on Drake, and now you need to be playing for tempo and you need to cover top and you walk through lane. Just walk through lane. Or worst comes to worst, you go walk through mid and then walk through like wolves and all that shit, but you have a chance of running into the enemy team. So
yeah, real quick, Raheen in chat was saying that he was so the big wave that after the dragon, you can see here that wave he's holding it so that Rhino can catch that XP and get back.
Yeah,
so that's a great point, Raheen, but like the XP does not matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so Invert says it here perfectly. If you go and watch like supports in the East and stuff, like they're consistently down. Dude, they're level 5 at like 11 minutes. It's really insane.
Are you a crisp enthusiast?
No, it's just
you can't hit level 5 until the 10-minute mark.
I've said it on stream like multiple times. I think in the West, people prioritize their individual gold and XP over the team timers or the map timers, whereas in LEC and LPL, they are willing to drop their individual resources to make sure that they hit the team timers, even when they're behind.
That was
I
a good
concur.
repel though from Rhino still coming up like on the back half. I know that he's
Yeah,
late to the initial play, but at least he
Inverse
stopped
says
the
it best.
rift,
You don't
right?
even have to walk through lane top. You can just walk through mid, and then
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, and then you
yeah.
swap
He
back
also
by.
he also
They
had a
don't
timer
have-
to like base with the Kazakhs and walk out with him too. Like he had two
Yeah.
options there.
That was also a really good example of like Rhino. Like it seems weird because usually supports don't do this, but you have to like pay attention to when your own camps are respawning, because you have to kind of keep yourself available for if they do go for those things. Especially since Darkwings, I don't think had ult available. So even if Darkwings did have priority, it's not really ideal for him to fight. Like he doesn't really want to, ideally, especially since top lane doesn't have move or Alorn doesn't have move easily.
I love how Invert's just saying walk through mid and see what happens because it's the support
right.
the support that I have like at Miami, like he went from D4 to like master tier this semester, and literally like the running joke is like literally all I've told the kid is like, hey, you should walk mid here. That's literally it.
But a rare situation of Rhino fucking up his timers. Let's go.
Yeah, so Raheen, like I totally understand your logic, man. I'm glad there was like thought put into it. It's just like you definitely shouldn't prioritize XP and support that highly, or at least you shouldn't prioritize it when it comes to like messing up your tempo.
Yeah, I don't want to hound on it too much, but also you're playing Tristana. Like levels go crazy, man.
Yeah, you're like one of the best side laning AD carries in the game, so solo XP is really good for you.
Yeah, actually, if you watch EGP and Giant Slayer, I know that I was pointing this out on cast. Both EG teams do it, but actually EGP was the one that did it better. They would play Tristana and like sack side, and Trist would just solo lane starting at like level 6, and then all of a sudden you have this like level 12 Tristana coming in like hyper fed. Even way back when C9 was running with Sneaky and like running Azir with Tristana like at Worlds, that's how they got like the 3 wins like that first week, by like stacking XP on Tristana and making sure that that's good. Also, Zoo, I know that on last night on your stream we talked a lot about strategic ints. That might have been one for Zeus because the
can you pull it back? Sorry, I was
the rift timing mid. I know that Zeus, they get the bot lane goes down here like the extended trade and they get some help. Okay. But they do get mid tower off this, which is pretty big for them. Unironically.
Let's play it out. See what happens. So a minute till Drake or a minute 20 till Drake.
We're gonna ignore the fact that Raheen burned flash there.
Sure.
Yeah. But they actually get mid tower off this.
Yeah, it's first tower
they commit
too,
4.
so they get more gold than they actually lose on bot side.
It's easy.
So Zeus actually trade vertically successfully here.
Yeah, no, yeah, they actually trade up here into the auto commit. Yeah. C9 messed up. It was a strategic int. It was close. Yeah, I think King flashing out there. He's still a healer.
Yeah, they get so much. They got like 1,000 gold.
Yeah, sure. Lucian doesn't have to move all the way. That's a mistake from Copy.
Sure. That's also true. Also correct.
Yeah, Lucian, so Zeus picked up gold in that play.
Yep.
And here comes the. This is good. This is good from Zeus. They're trading cross map. This is good.
I don't know if you guys saw this, but Alorn, like a full minute ago, pulled the wave top so it slow pushed into him to open up that timer. It was so ridiculous.
Wait.
Go all the way back.
Okay,
yeah,
we're here.
He's definitely
even more back.
Oh, no, he's just hiding.
It's right here. That's right here.
It's he's just hiding.
He crashed it. He pulled it before. I was just wrong.
I like that. That's good. That's good cheese. I mean, once again, they just saw 4 bot. This is a good play from Zeus.
But Alorn is like, he thinks really far ahead. It's kind of crazy.
No, yeah, like, dude, that's why I think Zeus can like beat academy teams. Like this guy, like he has more foresight and like better TP usage than like all these academy teams. Surdy, nah, but how is Alorn up in CS on the GP versus Ornn? Ornn's OP.
Alorn is unironically, this is a weird trait to point out, but he is really good at CSing under tower. Like he is so much better than like any other amateur or academy player I've seen. Unironically, he's so good at it.
Norm's good, man.
Yeah, he is.
He sees a lot of shit that other players don't, and I've always respected players that can do that.
Yep.
Like no matter like what like the general opinion is.
His TPs are really crazy.
Yeah, he has a lot of good side of the map. I also just love how fucking cheesy this is from RBM. I know that he has mid prio here, but like still like just jumping over the wall and just like this is mine.
So another thing I kind of like that RVM has been doing this game is so Kha'Zix is kind of, I wouldn't say he's like on a timer, but I kind of feel like he is on a timer, right? Because 6 items for 6 items, I think it's fine, but the rate at which Lily is going to hit those items is so much faster that like we're basically talking about the heat death of the universe, right? Whereas like Lilia is just so much faster. But instead of like trying to invade and just like trying to kill Lilia and trying to like fight in the enemy jungle, take away camps so he can scale faster, he's actually just stacking dragons, which I think is actually just way smarter. Like he's playing more to the strengths of his champion, which
I mean, like he Q evolved, right? Like he does it, and he's taken it on the timer both times. I just want to point out something that I really like here from C9 that they do. So they are spotted here on ward. But the reason that they're able to find this timer on RBM, obviously they know the blue's spawning, but also just keep in mind that like that bot lane pressure they had, they've warded out both camps. And so like they're able to guess that RBM's going here, and they end up, a copy just burns a lot of mana to show the wave, and they end up finding a nice timer, getting a lot out of RBM.
This is nice,
a good play.
and
this
is something that I want to see out of more NA teams, is where they're
really
pressuring inside the jungle, and they're there first. Now I think Peyton's kind of griefing here to be walking that way. I think he should be walking under his wolves. But, not many teams that we play against at this level actively do things like that. And
yeah, no, this is good.
Yeah, so if we're able to see teams kind of consistently do more shit like this, then I'm pretty happy.
And RBM still gets the buff.
I mean, yeah. So realistically, it's just.
But still,
like,
it's a good setup. Yeah.
Yeah, to me, it was a great answer, and then it was just 2 mechanical misexecutions in a row.
Yeah.
So blue kind of gets away with highway robbery there, and
yeah.
Yeah,
because like right now, like and this is like part of the issue like I had with like Lilia like not getting shit done in the first base, because like she doesn't have any good lanes to gank unless Isles is roaming, right? And now like we're in a game state where Zeus has set up a couple decent things, like it's even footing, but Zeus are just miles ahead because of comps, right? Because like you have Syndra is like about to spike, Tristana is just gonna scale like infinitely. It's also into a team of full squishies against a Kha'Zix, Syndra, Trist, and the first reset you have, like the fight's over. And then you get ornaments as the game goes on too. I think that like this is just a fantastic game state for Zeus, and that's why I didn't like the fact that C9 was like handshaking early.
Yeah,
as well. I mean, time's not their friend, so I would have liked to see Shern like make some more proactive plays. I think that like a split map setup where like he like gets those top caps, like maybe you catch RBM with his pants down, like you have prio and like both side lanes. I think that's a good call too.
So you don't like Red's comp later in the game?
No, I'd rather be Zeus.
Okay.
At this level of play, yeah.
I'd rather be Red, to be honest.
I think like Tristana is just like kind of insane here though, no? Like I think Tristana is actually kind of hard to play against for Cloud9.
Yeah.
I feel
like mobility wise, yes, but Triss shouldn't be able to get all the damage she wants, because there's going to be a Zanya's on Lilia, and then both AD carries have mobility, and then you're playing versus GP as well. So I mean, the only person in this comp, like the way I look at Trist for team fights is like, are you able to get like your full E, and like get
Dark Wings,
and it's like obviously there's other stuff too that on the Trist, right? But like if you're going to be getting the most amount, you're going you're going for full damage. Like I think Triss requires a bit more free hitting in terms of like standing still, whereas something like an Ezreal or a Lucian can afford to kind of reposition and kind of just throw spells, less so Lucian but more so Ezreal. And then GP and all them are really comfortable. Plus I think blue side has no way to play side lane.
But no, you can with Kha'Zix. Like they can just break side lane with Kha'Zix, and it's like you're playing against 4 squishies and 1 scatter the weak lands from Syndra, and Tristana just gets free resets for days.
So I kind of think of like a midway between you two. Like I feel like a lot of those mobility issues are kind of shored up by Kha'Zix and Ornn. Just not necessarily that, like, oh, Kha'Zix will just kill them all, or like Ornn will just CC them all. It's just like I feel like it's really like the way Cloud9 have to play these fights is that they have to be very careful with how they use their mobility because there's so many threats that are other than just like the Tristana, right? There's
Sure.
Scattered Weak, there's like
The
all this other
Gragas
stuff.
and the Ornn and shit like that. Yeah.
And
exactly.
you can never overcommit in the Syndra Ornn,
So-
and you just get blasted.
I think it's kind of like I know we just talked about like things that are flips that are not flips, but I still think like 6 items 6 items it's still kind of a flip. Like it's not like a 50-50 flip, but you know I feel like both teams definitely depending on how the fights are set up. Like it kind of depends, like, who has
When I'm-
proper setup.
Like when I'm looking at these sorts of team comps,
Yep.
like where one engages and then the other one wants to play through sides, I just try to ask myself how realistic is it that these teams are going to be like facing off at a neutral where like blue actually gets to combine their engage. You know, they're first on the map, like they're the ones controlling the river, and then there's nothing really to trade. Maybe it's like Dragon Soul, or there's nothing on the opposite side, no Baron or anything like that.
I just think like at this point of the game, like how does C9 stop Soul? Like when you're against Ornn Syndra. Like they're out of time to like run sides,
well,
and you can break sides
so-
with Kha'Zix, which is what Zeus ends up doing.
All
I
right,
know
so
that's
maybe I miscommunicated. Maybe
Yeah.
from this game state it is a little bit more rough. I still think it's fine for red, but like I'm just talking about comp versus comp in late game. Like if we
Yeah.
were to run these comps back, like I would still prefer red, but that's in like mid to late. But maybe that's just because of the way I like to approach the game. I just kind of see it as like red never really gets, they just escort the GP inside and then they play 2 lane. Rel gets to move and then, they just play towards the Lucian side. Ezreal gets to free hit as the anchor mid. And, they can't really pull on Ezreal. And then you just have Lucian inside with a Rel that gets to be there because Ezreal doesn't need her. And then you have a GP ult to match. So it doesn't even matter, in my opinion, that Kha'Zix gets to play side. Like you're either playing side into a Syndra where GP is going to be able to match and then Rel is going to be there because Ezreal doesn't need him.
Yeah,
or you're playing side lane into an Ornn where your Syndra is just going to get killed. Right? So to me it just kind of seems like if red team plays their side lanes properly, I think it's really hard for blue team to get that engaged. Now, where blue team could do that is if they sack waves and, try to catch up in tempo and, just kind of overload one side of the map and try to pull. But you only get like 1 to 2 chances at that before the enemy team just takes an inhib or Baron or something like that. And then you just don't get to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Like,
the scenario that like you paint though, like red needs a gold advantage to do that, and they didn't get it, which is like why I'm saying I really like Zeus state in the game. Right now.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't even really think that you need like a hard gold advantage. I just think you needed to be able to use, I think you just need to be able to use early, solo lane prio plus jungle, prio to just be able to deny early Drake.
Right. Which they didn't deny anything with their early prio in mid jungle. They handshaked everything.
But
Kha'Zix was down 3 camps after like first dragon.
I feel like, so Invert's saying it in the chat too, like Bear, if red has to walk in, it's really hard.
No, it's doomed.
If they have to walk in a river.
Yeah, it's
but
doomed.
they have all the agency early, right? So like the thing about this is like if they're not first to river, sure, but like if we're going to compare comps that don't fight the same ways, we can't just look at it from the one way of how one team wants to fight and say it's hard for the other team. Like blue wins the fight if they're first, but red has the agency to make sure that they're first. And blue can get there first with a sacrifice, usually in waves and tempo. And if red is able to identify that, and as long as the Drakes aren't too bad, then they can just play the opposite side of the map and play for the gold.
Yeah, I agree with that, but like that's where the Kha'Zix pick actually throws a big wrench into things, right? Because like it's
about
easy
playing side lane?
Yeah, like it's a lot harder to play.
I already
sides
explained.
in the
I already explained that with Ezreal. Ezreal doesn't really require the support that much, and you have a GP to cross map. If C9 is playing into the GP side lane and they're trying to play in that lane, then they're trolling.
Yeah.
But like it's you have GP ult to match, and you have like Kha'Zix sure can put a wrench in that, but neither of the solo lanes that you're playing with it side lane very well.
So I just want to punch in here and just say we can like all agree that Gangplank wins versus Ornn in the side lane once Gangplank has his items, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so what I'm thinking is, I don't think Cloud9, like, obviously they shouldn't let them just get sold for free, or let Zeus get sold for free, just to affirm that. But
Yeah.
if Gangplank's capable of winning the side lane, it's not hard, like, to just pressure the side lane, force Kha'Zix, or force someone else to help Alorn deal with it in the side lane, and just play, like, 4v4 on the dragon while you're winning on top side. You don't have to like over commit to it, because you have all of those tools like Lily E or Ezreal Q to like face check, make sure you just aren't getting like bush stacked on. And the other thing is, I think it's hard to actually play into this composition as Cloud9, because even if Lilia outclears the Kha'Zix, and I'm talking from a team fight perspective, because that's kind of what we're talking towards here, Kha'Zix gets his items so much faster than Lilia, because lethality items are dirt cheap compared to the AP items, like at least this patch.
Yeah, no,
Like,
that's true as well.
It's really not in the cards for Cloud9 to like go for like an all-out team fight. Like Kha'Zix is too accelerated, because look, even if we take away these kills, like Kha'Zix would still roughly have the same items, just because his are so much cheaper than Lilia.
Yeah, so
more or less.
like before we like dive into this fight and like wrap up like this point, I think like the other two things, I know that GP beats Ornn, but it takes GP a while to beat Ornn and then also be able to like step up and take turrets besides just like getting chip damage from minions, right? And I think that the ideal side lane setup is actually, I'd run Lucian into Ornn to like try and like actually pressure the turret if you're able to like set up the map around that and then have Rel backing him up that way. Because like, you can throw GP against Syndra and like just like you burn W and it's fine. Like you can never die.
Also,
unless Kha'Zix comes, but yeah.
I
Sure,
know,
but then you don't want to use GPL to attack the Ornn inside lane. Like
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm
really-
like absolutely not. Yeah, no, it's,
Yeah.
you're right. Yeah, but
I-
it's tricky. I really don't like this game state for C9. I think that I mean we can all agree, like the fact you give up 3 dragons against Syndra Ornn, it just makes it impossible to approach now.
for sure.
And
this game is pretty hard now. And
Yeah.
then the fight that they took was they were split. Like
this
they were
fight is
spread
really
out across
random.
mid, and then
Yeah.
they're taking a face up 5v5.
Yeah,
It's so
this
odd.
this looks like LCS. We're A-ramming.
Like
Yeah.
all like
At
both
the
their
wrong timer,
TPs
too.
are up. Both their TPs are up. Ezreal ult is up. GP's ult is up.
yo,
Anything that blue team does on mid wave is just moot with
Check.
Ezreal ult and GP ult, and then you have both flashes and or not both flash, but flash and TP on your strong side.
Yeah,
mhm.
It's kind of
Uh,
troll.
that's very troll.
top lane waves for Cloud9. Look at how bad it is. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
it's
they're
like we're
losing
talking about.
everything.
Yeah,
To
I
be
Ezreal-
fair, the
Ezreal
bot
just eat
lane
forward too. Like
Yeah, to be fair, the bot lane for Zeus is not ideal. But
Yes. And then I think it's really. I don't think Darshan should have to like. He has TP. He's walking to his team because he's afraid of Ornn engage. Like, I feel like teams in NA.
you can
like,
press R then TP, it's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Like teams in NA have very little trust for their teammates because I know they think to themselves, "We're gonna get engaged on. We're gonna die here." And nothing that I say, like Cloud9 don't really have to contest this mid wave since they have Darshan in the side lane. Alorn doesn't have TP. Darshan does have TP. So he's just walking over while he has TP. He could be pressuring bot side. Also, I know we don't
100%
really
agree.
like to talk about builds, but I really think Darshan needs a Last Whisper.
You mean LDR?
I know he's going for Sterix Gauge, but I really think Last
LDR.
Whisper is pretty important. Even though he has pen on his barrels, I think it's kind of important.
He goes he doesn't go LDR. He goes don't you get Shirelda's though? Or like is Shirelda's like more efficient on him than LDR? I honestly don't know.
I don't know enough. I only
I
want
honestly
his,
don't know.
like support armor pen. Shirelda's builds out of Last Whisper though.
Yeah. Oh, so you're just saying that like you just want him to have that component and then he
Yes,
can go
exactly.
Sterix.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
okay. Yeah, it is an efficient component. All right, so C9.
there's like
Does this
absolutely
midway
no
grab
reason.
exactly what I'm saying?
There's,
Exactly what I'm saying.
there's like invert there.
Yeah.
Absolutely no reason to be here. So yeah,
Also-
you're right.
And then the King just also like eat in to Alorm's ult, and I do want to point out 2 cool interactions that Zeus landed with their hands. One, Rhino hits a banger cask in the back half of this fight, and 2, RBM tries to suicide and actually gets out, but also the Prowler's Claw to follow through on the dash is really good from him as we do play this one out.
Prowler's Claw is
Yeah,
insanely
it-
overpowered.
yeah.
It's the same item by the way.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
it
So yeah, check out him on copy
Yeah.
here. he dashes through with the Prowler's Claw. It's really good. And then he's able to get the kill down 2 levels, and then he gets out. And then King goes down, and then watch this cast from Rhino.
Jeez.
This
Yeah,
cast
I
from Rhino
remember
is so... This is so lit.
It's filthy.
Yeah, it's really filthy over the wall. It's really well played from Zeus. And like they wiped the fight, so that's Baron, because they didn't lose any health for that.
Yeah, game's over for Cloud9 at this point, I think.
Yep.
One other thing
Yep,
is if
really
this
hard.
mid-wave, hypothetically, I'm not saying it is, but if it is in a world where the mid-wave is really important, you still have Ezreal ult up, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I said that a few minutes ago. You have GP ult,
Oh,
you
yeah.
have you have GP ult, you have Ezreal ult, you have
Lucian
Lucian
ult.
ult, and you have 2 TPs.
Yeah, I just like, and I also like don't like it because like it just shows like C9 like they don't understand the theme of their comp, right? Like we just spent a bunch of time saying like, oh, like which comp would you like rather have? But, like we all agree that like you want to 1-3-1 as C9, right? So like why are we ARAMing mid 3 minutes before Dragon spawns when we have all these tools up, right? Like we just don't understand the theme of our comp, which is not what I want to see out of an academy team that has a lot of experience under their belt. Like these are mistakes I'd expect to like, you know, EGP to be making, right? Not these guys.
Yeah.
Why can't I redeem the 500k points Caster 2 was? I made it that expensive for a reason.
Yeah, I feel like
Oh shit,
just
what's up, Mad Match?
playing a team fight is the easiest way to refine your playstyle. Like in NA, like where everybody is able to get on the same page as to what they need to do, and then they can actually get repetitions on like understanding their jobs.
Mhm.
And I feel like, you know, kind of just generic 2 traditional carry, 2 immobile carries like Jinx Ori plus, you know, 2 frontliners and a jungler that helps people get base timers. It's like everyone's just kind of on the same page with that, and you can just rep it out and get good. Whereas like when you play things that have to be a bit more involved around side lane and all that sort of jazz, then, you know, you have to spend a lot more days of practice actually like getting it down first, getting the basics down of it first before you actually refine it. Whereas you can kind of just like after a couple days of practice with team fighting, you can just refine that shit right away.
Yeah. Also, I just want to point out this play because it's going to seem minute, but it's actually why Zeus lose game 3. They definitely are a little bit bloodthirsty here. Like they could just back off, get clean reset, and I think going for King is like okay, but going for Darshan here is like totally out of line, and he plays it decently well. It was a nice sidestep down.
Yeah, Darshan is a very good player, in my opinion. I don't know. Serdi will tell you otherwise, but I mean...
Yeah, no, he was in the chat saying otherwise, yeah. But that actually hurts Zeus quite a bit in wrapping up this game.
This game is kind of over, though. Like, unless they just play insane, like Cloud9. Like, this game should be over, is what I'm saying.
No. The game still is Giga over, but like they could have gotten Quad Soul there.
Yeah.
And RBM steals it, so they get away with highway robbery once again. So
nice steal. Yeah.
Yep.
That was a good steal, though.
That is worth it. The suicide is worth it there.
Yeah, I agree. Highwayman, RBM.
Yeah. Also, last time Zeus won, I raided his girlfriend afterwards. I feel like they didn't win the series, so I feel like I don't have to do that this time. But that's might have to still be the play as RBM. He did have his good Kazakhs game. They almost, dude. So I caught the level 1 of game 3, and I couldn't catch the rest of it until I saw that like the game was close, and I was like, what the fuck? Because the level 1 was a doomer angle.
Yeah. So also, I think the way Zeus played game 2, they kind of had a composition with like kind of a similar idea, but their windows were different, and I don't know if they realized it because I talked about this before, but in the Kazakhs versus Lilium matchup, when you have Syndra versus Lucian, you have like that certain window, right, where you can punish the Lily, you can attack the Lily, you can create interaction. Whereas in Nocturne versus Lilia, Nocturne is more dependent on his level 6 relative to Kazakhs, so your windows change. And I don't think that Zeus did a really good job at playing around that window as well as they did in this game, where they could create interaction by taking the dragon, and that's like, you know, a neutral objective off the board that they can create for like a scaling advantage through like stacking drakes.
Yeah.
You know, Nocturne, it's a different mechanism, even though they're both Lilia counters.
I also think that Darkwings this game he gets the S+ for me this game with his Syndra play, and in the next game
played well.
a part of the level 1 was a part of the reason why, but also he didn't have nearly as strong of a game 3 too, which hurt. So yeah,
I mean, just look how desynced they are when they're stepping up.
I mean, once
fog.
again, like, this is another, like, if we're C9, we have both TPs up. Like, why are we all mid? Like, this is like another situation. I'm kind of zooming through this because
this one it makes this one kind of makes sense for them to all be mid because they have no flank wards or anything, or maybe they do actually. I just didn't see it.
I mean, they still, yeah, they do. They have flank wards here, but like
they have
they
like no
both
vision
have
of
everything.
river or anything like that, and their waves aren't pushed, then like whoever walks for that mid wave can get pulled on. And then they need to be able to push out some wave to be able to check Baron. Because if you have no Baron vision whatsoever, like, so when they
Sorry, I'm trying to see scoreboard here.
Clear the pink and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, they don't have. I was looking for blue trinkets. They don't have blue trinkets up.
If somebody steps up alone to that mid wave, like the Ezreal, that's the timer where Ezreal can actually get pulled on. You know, and then you want to be able to TP in and, you know, cover the fight and all that stuff, or, you know, cover the Baron. But you really only have like maybe 2 wards, and then GP teleporting in isn't like the most effective, like right off the bat. Like, you kind of got to set up a little bit. Like,
yeah, I just don't like I this is more understanding than like the last fight, but once again, like they're not playing to their win condition, right? I know that they're behind. They have to like answer Zeus a little bit more. Like, this is still like a systemic issue that like we're seeing, right? With this is a harder execute comp, but it's a 1-3-1. Like, you can do it, and they're refusing to do it by ARAMing.
I would argue that you don't even have to play this comp like 3 lanes. I think if you want to accelerate really hard, considering Ornn nor Syndra are going to want to hit side lane turrets and try to match your pacing with their split, you can just consistently have Ezreal and GP just kind of shift in between adjacent lanes. So, you know, you put Lucian bot in a long lane, and then you have GP push out with jungle escort, and then jungle shifts mid, pushes out with Ezreal, and then Ezreal goes bot with you. Now you have 4 people bottom, and then GP's holding mid, or Ornn can't do anything top. You know, and like, you can kind of just, that's where you can actually like 4v2 dive, and you have 4 people in a side lane. You can actually threaten tier 3 turrets and all that sort of shit. And I just like that's an option too. They don't even have to like hard 1-3-1. They can accelerate this game even harder. So that's like, for me, it's like they had multiple opportunities in early and mid game to do that, and they didn't do any of them. So it's like they hard deserve to lose this game.
I agree. I would say
Jensen, you are right though. From this map state, you can't. You're down tempo. You can't win like your 1v1s and stuff. Like, your support doesn't move first. Like, you can never deploy 3 lanes like this. So you're 100% right.
So they at that point they did have they did have 2 waves like on their side of the maps. Like, they could have like at least like caught him and like got him to even, right? But
so I'm sorry, I zoned out for a second, but I was just thinking about it. But I agree, like, they deserve to lose. I don't know if you touched on this too, but we've identified like so many parts in this game where like Cloud9 are just like chucking these waves away that they really don't need to be. They're not playing to like their composition strengths, which is to basically play 3 lanes with this Lucian, with this
and I think like it also starts like they didn't push the tempo with Lilia, right?
Yeah,
like,
I mean, yeah, exactly. Like, even then, I mean, there are a lot of situations where Lilia was trying to push the tempo that it just absolutely was illegal. Like, when Rhino, how do I explain this? Like, it should have been illegal, but since Zeus screwed up, it was made legal. It was like, because like the Rhinos thing was like a really important thing. To catch the XP, as opposed to just going top when his camps are respawning to help defend those camps.
Yeah, I meant more like I wanted to see, like, I want to see something like first base. Like, if that's how, or pre-first base, right? If that's how the Lucian Cinder matchup goes, like, let's make something happen pre-first base and like try and like get Kha'Zix a little bit behind, or like utilize the power of your champ, right?
And that's just the nature of the matchup. Like, these matchups are very nuanced.
Yeah, like that matchup, you don't even have to win level 1. You don't even have to Raptor to Raptor. Like, you just got to hit the 4-minute timer on second camps and like or second Raptors, and you can really still bully, you know, even if your support's getting pushed in, he sacks a wave because you've picked a Lilia Lucian. You need to sack a wave if you're getting pushed in to be able to move, right?
All right, guys.
If you're gonna make the play happen.
2 games down, hour 30 in. That's not the worst rate in the world for what we're looking
I think we're
for.
covering a lot of ground really quickly. To be fair,
We're doing okay. Yeah. We're doing all right. I've no complaints, but we are on to game 3 now. As we see C9 run with the same duo, but they take away the Kazakhs this time, and it's answered by the Flex Nocturne. I was kind of curious to see Zeus. I know that the Tristana and the Thresh were taken away, so they were forced to do something different here, but power picking the Kaisa Rel and the Alistar. I mean, I think the first, like, everything in the first 3, like, for each team is fine. The Nocturne response for me feels a little bit awkward just because I don't know if Aloran plays it. I think I've seen him play it like once or twice, but
he absolutely does play it, because I remember in 2020 Academy Spring when he was on IMTA, he was one of the only people pulling out Nocturne top lane.
Oh, okay.
I remember that for a
okay.
fact.
I didn't know that he was, okay,
Yep.
that's my bad.
Yeah, it says real pick is no bueno.
Yeah, that's
IMO.
I think that he I know it's bad on the Kaisa, but I think he's doing it like to defend
Nah.
himself from the Nocturne.
I'd rather have Ashe, man. I'd rather have Ashe.
Because I actually the Zaya Sibber bands from Zeus I like a lot.
Yeah, they're the Zyban's good.
Yeah.
Cyberban's okay.
Actually, the Zaya, you can still execute on the Zaya though as Nocturne Rel if your timing's good.
What else?
I
Is
guess I would honestly I'd rather take Felios.
Problem with the Felios, I was thinking about it,
You
is
kind of get smacked around by Syndra, but
Alistar
everything else
sucks.
works.
Yeah.
Everything else works out.
If it was Nautilus, I'd be down.
Wait,
Or
no, you can wait, no, with the Alistar Rel matchup, you can absolutely peel with the Alistar into this matchup. Like Alistar is a bit more dynamic with that, and you can an Alistar can definitely peel a red white Aphelios, especially if you have a Scion that's engaging. Like
Wait.
that can definitely happen.
Are you responding to what I'm saying or what Koga's saying?
Well, somebody just said, or I just heard that somebody said like Aphelios Alistar would be like a bad lane.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
I don't like that lane.
I think it's fine. It's perfectly fine.
I mean, like the lane's fine, but like outside of lane, it's pretty tough. I mean, I think that
Like-
if you're gonna Aphelios, you gotta bite the bullet and take Thresh TK, or else like you're really hampered. The only like though you can bridge it with like a Nautilus from what I've seen, but
yeah, I
Where's
mean,
Van's okay, but if
gets pooped on by Syndra.
yeah, that's like,
Vane's actually kind of lit here. Once you'd have to go QSS early against the Syndra, but I
Like,
actually like
to
Vayne
the-
a lot.
to an
It's
to
good
an
with Alistar,
extent.
yeah.
To an extent, in the grand scheme of things, I don't even think AD carry pick matters that much because you have similar jungle mid 2v2, and like if you can have the winning Lucian Lilia, then it doesn't matter what AD carry you pick because your winning 2v2 is going to hover bot because you have a Scion, and you know Scion is down to clown and is going to throw his TP bot as well. So like even if you have kind of a shitty AD carry bot, like you're still going to be able to pressure the bot lane with the winning 2v2.
if you're 10
mid jungle.
million IQ, you lock in a Vel'Koz AD carry, of course. It's crazy. Anyways, so if you're really smart
Play
and you're
Ziggs.
what do you say?
Play Ziggs.
Nah, not Ziggs.
Oh god.
If you're really smart and you're playing versus Vayne as Syndra, you can go Horizon Focus and you can reveal her in her stealth. You ult and you E. So that's a nice little tip. So I don't really like Vayne into it. I'm thinking of other AD carries.
Really?
I'm just gonna pull up a list of all AD carries because I'm
Someone
forgetting.
in the chat's saying Karma AD carry is kind of cracked here.
Yeah, Jensen.
No.
Jensen Karma.
Oh, that's Jensen? Okay, I didn't know. Not know
Mhm.
that's Jensen.
Karma
That's Jensen.
AD carry. No, he's trolling.
Go full
There's no
G2,
way.
man. It's
You're
actually
lacking
not
in the
terrible.
damage department, but you know if you're again, it's all about the mid jungle 2v2. So
If you pair it not with Scion, it's not bad. But they
Okay,
pair it with
yeah,
Scion. So
I
what would
agree.
you want to pair it with in this situation?
if you go Karma AD, shit, I don't have a lot of experience with Karma AD. I don't know. I don't know
I mean,
what's
you would go Gangplank or Jace or something like that.
You
Or
take
Aatrox,
Aatrox?
yeah, or take the
I was about
Aatrox.
to ask about Urgot.
The only
blinds.
thing, the
I
only
think
thing I
Urgot's a
was
safer blind.
the only thing I would be like slightly concerned about would be like if enemy is like really comfortable playing Wukong in that situation, and then you have like Aatrox plus Lucian versus like a Wukong Rel and all that sort of shit, then like maybe that could be difficult. Cause I feel like good Wukong players can like win that Aatrox matchup.
Oh yeah, no, it's very winnable. But you do have the Alistar
yeah.
in team fights. We were thinking of Urgot in R5. No,
I don't like
Aatrox is
I don't
fine.
like
Aatrox
Urgot
is
versus
fine,
team, to be honest.
Range was
Aatrox
an
is way
issue.
better.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. All right.
Um,
I
yeah.
I mean draft this draft, right? So
Yep.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about this. This is
honestly, if you want to be the real baller ass bitch, you go Braum Lucian and then you put something mid to counter Syndra. But that's just me. So anyway, Braum enthusiast.
Yeah, I think if they take Rom here, I don't know if they lock Cinder mid, but maybe I'm wrong.
That's
maybe
true.
I'm wrong.
That's true. That's true. It's true. True. But
Really
I think I actually think that Braum is like being really swept on in this new patch.
I
know that-
agree. I actually think he's quite good in Terrell too.
No, yeah, Braum's very playable. Yeah.
You're gonna see a lot more Varus, Ashe, Braum, Tom Kench, Thresh.
Yep.
all that
I
stuff.
I honestly
Jinx as
like
well.
The
I've been
counter
watching-
sports, I think.
yeah, I've been watching like I haven't been watching a lot of other regions, but I finally was like able to like catch up on LPL, and I was just watching those games like where the fuck is Braum? Like seriously. Because
I mean-
like they put so much Varus over there too. Like it's so good in the Varus. And then they're
Baseball
they're pairing
TK.
everything with Tom Kench. Yeah.
Well, it's
for
I
the
think
TK
I think
ults.
it's because they're playing on 11.6, and then if I recall correctly, I might be just
the
griefing in front of
the
all
Braum buffs
people I
don't the Braum
look up
buffs
to.
the Braum buffs
It's
don't
not
matter.
just the buff, but it's also
Yeah.
the Alistar Rel nerfs on 11.7.
See, this is what I wanted to see.
Play more Braum. So like you'll see Braum on 11.7 in LPL, 100%.
Yeah, this is
I'd put money on.
Yeah, but like the I know that like the nerfs matter, but like even on that patch, Braum was playable into it. Like you could still do it. It's like obviously like both those got
you're
nerfed,
talking
but,
about
yeah.
you're talking about using like a pre-buff champ like during LPL playoffs when you've been like practicing with
Yeah.
same meta champs and stuff. It's kind of troll to do that. I imagine.
It's still playable though. I know
Yeah,
like
that's what I'm saying.
Winter Mist have been playing a little bit of it down here, as this is just okay.
Yeah, this is horrendous.
How did this disaster happen?
That was one of the worst flashes I've ever seen of all time from RBM.
Yeah, it was not good. So this ward needs to be further up to give more info, and then I think that you just need to plan around this. This was so sad. I'm sorry, Reed. The fact that you guys made it to the game after this. So I like this ward. I feel like the ward they drop needs to be here. No, like just to like give them a little bit more time.
A little bit deeper. The problem is, I was talking about this with Panda. The thing is if you walk forward to drop the ward, they're just gonna clear the ward because they have the better level 1.
Well, I mean, like that's true, but no one has sweeper at the moment.
I know, but they're just gonna walk up and hit it.
But even if they're sat here, they wouldn't kill it in time. Like you would at least get more, and you could drop it like if you know they're gonna go for this play, you can drop it like out of base like 30-second.
Yeah, maybe that's just what Panda told me, and it made sense to me. Like,
Yeah, I mean, like
feel
if they see that, like they might base and like
I
sweep
feel
it
like
later.
Poppy should be further up so he could contest the ward. That's me.
Yeah,
But
I know Reed and Idcon are talking about it in here. I say AFK on Raptors bush, AFK in bush below red, where our ward is. Any bush but where we are.
where
Yeah,
river?
things got tried. I mean, I don't even know if you like the only way you win this is if you smite steal it. Like,
The only way you win this is if you attack them right away while their cooldowns are down. Like, yeah, basically you have to smite steal it and make sure Shern doesn't get level 2. Because Shern getting level 2.
I feel like this is another situation. I feel like this is another situation where it's very beneficial for you to, even if you get pushed out, it's favorable for red to cross map or you split map bot. Like your Rel and your Kai'Sa will be able to slow stack a wave against Alistar as long as Rel starts in the bush, and then you're going to be able to take enemy red.
yeah.
Maybe Lucian moves and it's really hard. Maybe I'm just kind of trolling by saying that.
So
but-
Incon actually brings up a good point about that.
Yeah.
Is that Syndra is starting on the bot side of mid, and if she's hovering in this pocket up here, she would be able to answer a little bit quicker. So that's a smaller thing, but yeah.
Well, how does she answer? What does she answer with?
Throws Qs and
her
autos
champ
and
is
praise.
just her
Yeah.
champ's just not good at level 1.
Yeah, no, it's not
Exactly.
good level 1. Yeah,
But
Exactly.
that's
she'll get
exactly
pinched.
like.
Yeah, she'll still get pinched.
But this is exactly like what I wanted to see from
Yeah, so
C9 in game 2.
Yeah.
And like this is what you can just consistently do in this mid matchup.
Yep.
You know, and it kind of just it depends. But like the best thing to do when
I
you're
think
the
they
team
took the
that
sign
can
to make
get
sure they were able to do this. Honestly.
yeah, like
Yeah.
when you can get invaded on, you should be anticipating like, or you should have a plan to answer on the opposite side of the map. And
Mhm.
when Alistair has a terrible level 1 and your bot lane can slow stack a wave, you can stack the wave and then split map, and then you can pseudo dive to like pull Lucian TP or something, and then all of a sudden your mid matchup is just 10 times better, even though
Yep.
they invaded you. Like
Yeah.
those are the sorts of things. But like I feel like so many teams in amateur, there are answers, and then we choose the one right in front of us, as opposed to like thinking about the alternative or anticipating the alternative, and like then we lose out on the current situation, and we're like, oh, how could we make this current situation better? Well, sometimes it's just better to just do the other thing instead, right?
Yeah, and also like I honestly, I know that chat's saying it, but you can't really split the map here even, because it's just a Lilia, right? Like she's
Sure,
gonna
yeah,
Raptor,
yeah.
Raptor.
So that's
Like,
what I was saying
I
about
mean,
the
you can
Lucian
just-
too. Like
you can
maybe
just
maybe
take
I'm
it.
just wrong there. You know,
I mean,
like
you
maybe
can just take it and like be like, all right,
Mhm.
fuck guys, like we lose those Raptors, and maybe like Zeus is able to make a play for like the Raptor respawn if Lilia is gonna contest, because like that's the real value of this start for Lilia, right? Is if she gets the second one, that's where you get fucked. I mean, like this
Yeah,
start
for sure.
sucks. Like it sucks. Like this start, but like you get fucked if she gets the second one
So-
too.
Sure, but like one of the things you can do is just take the L on that, you know, clear your bot side, and then like you're still on bot side of the map, and your bot lane gets to push, so your support can technically get first base, and then take an early move top to help you get your Raptor respawn. You know what time they're going to be coming out.
Yeah.
You know, like,
yeah. So you set up
there's
timer
just
to go for
answers.
2. Yeah, you set up
Yeah,
timer
it's
to go to
just-
second one. Yeah.
It's just annoying. There's multiple answers that aren't on the screen, but we as a community tend to just opt into the answer on the screen.
Hypothetically, I think this is what should happen. I think Rel should walk up in case not Pocket Rhino, in case Isles is coming, and they should try to take this red buff really fast. Like, this is going to sound stupid, right? They should try to take this red buff really fast, because the first thing that Shern and Darshan are going to try to do after getting Raptors is go to the red and start fighting RBM. Like, RBM should be hard hitting this red and just trying to get it so they can contest level 2 versus level 2, right? And then Pocket Rhino will be here, and even if hypothetically Isles doesn't roam, Raheen, like, we'll just have to give up something on the bot side, like maybe just like a little bit, right? And that's gonna suck, but it's really important that RBM doesn't lose 2 camps. If he loses Raptors, I feel like that's really bad, and they have to devise a plan in 3 minutes when not 3 minutes, but in like 2 minutes when Raptors respawn.
Yeah.
But like, they need this red buff because they've already committed to like being here and fighting it, and they can't split the map away from the Scion. Like, we really need this red buff, and Rhino has to walk up. I feel like Darkwings should consider like finding a way to walk up here like without losing too much. Like, not necessarily just like being here to like throw Qs, but like we need to get like all hands on deck for this red buff. I feel like, because it's like, you know, if we lose this red buff, we're gonna be
Also, like, so the previous point that I had too about like the ward being further up. Look at where Rhino's moving right now, and look at where the champs are. The champs are here, right? Rhino, he wouldn't be here. He would be in this brush, like by the time that like this play is actually executed upon, and they might be able to get like a, you know, if they burn Lilia Q on the camps and Darkwings is here, like they might be able to force like a brief 2v4, right?
Mm-hmm.
These are obviously like smaller micro things, but it's, you know, the potential for it to happen. It's still so fucking hard to defend though.
Yeah,
like you would have to WQ like now, but if Zeus like found it, it'd be pretty fucking huge. But I think that's like the only that's like the Hail Mary defense, whereas it's tricky.
He basically has to like flash W here.
That's tricky.
Yeah. I just think like the problem isn't necessarily that they're gonna take your Raptors, it's what's coming next.
Yes, and it's because RBM gets melted, and then now everything's gone.
Yeah, game's over, pretty much. Unfortunately.
It's not over. It's not over till it's over. But
Yeah, but I mean, if they
it's a rough
play it,
start.
like,
It's a
not
rough start.
Bad, not even good, just not bad. It's so freaking hard, man.
Oh my god, I did not see that Rhino actually got that.
No.
What a baller.
He smoked the.
He smited it early, yeah.
Yeah. So
RBM goes down again here, I assume. No.
Almost. Oh, maybe not. But
Yeah, I will say Darshan has had the most aggressive level 1s I've seen out of a top laner since like Niles in scrims, to be honest. Like this man is flashing level 1 like every game. I love it. I love it. It's crazy.
Oh my god.
Even then, that shouldn't happen, right? Rhino shouldn't have gotten that kill. No way, man.
That was a.
I did not watch this game, by the way, so I don't
Yeah,
know.
I didn't see this stuff.
I heard. I was talking to
This
Collimer,
is
and he told me, yeah,
wild.
one was just a blower.
This is wild. Everything is fucked on the map. RBM is just wrapping up a second camp, and Surefire's third camp was the crab.
They're just contesting every.
Copy shouldn't push this wave. Copy really shouldn't have used spells on that wave.
Why not?
His bot lane was just about to get a move in like 10-15 seconds, probably 10 seconds, because they were crashing wave because Rel had to walk all the way back, and then his jungle had just finished scuttle and wants to go for the top scuttle as well, so he would have just had support jungle in his lane. Syndra had just TP'd and the wave is on Lucian's side.
Dude,
So,
high key though.
Syndra
Rhino,
was actually just permafucked right there.
Yeah, high key though. Rhino actually saves the fucking game. Like,
Yeah,
you know, like in a sense, like between like that, like denying that, like from Shern and like getting a kill, and then also like just helping out mid. Oh no,
Dude, oh my god, like, so I don't know. The TP was just really, really illegal. But yeah.
From Darkwings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, like, you know, Copy didn't play it in my opinion, to be proper.
So, what I was talking about before near the beginning of the game is like Nocturne has like this window to punish the Lilia, right? Like, not early game because obviously Lilia outclears Nocturne. It's actually not as like hard of an outclear as you might think it is because Nocturne actually does clear relatively fast.
Yeah, he does.
He definitely has like a window to punish the Lilia at 6, and that that overlaps a little bit with when Syndra gets to beat Lucian, which is like after first back around level 6. But the problem is, by the time RBM is going to hit level 6, that window is basically going to be a pass, and he's not going to be able to really punish the Lilia anymore. And that's why this game's harder in theory because you think like, oh, they have more gold, bigger numbers is better. It's also like, I've missed my window of opportunity before it's even come. Like, and that's depressing, you know?
I mean, I like the fact that, like, not even, like, that window, but also just, like, the fact that, like, oh, like, level 6 on Nocturne is really good. Like, we're going to try and set that behind. Like, that's what I wanted to see in Game 1 against the Kazakhs, right? Like, let's, like, try and, like, that's, like, a very, like, nuanced, like, part of it. But, like, in, like, theory, it's like, huh, when does Nocturne want to make a play? Oh, he needs level 6 to make a play. Like, let's delay that. Like, we have Lilia. Like, why not, right?
Yes, I agree, yes.
That's, like, Darkwings has fixed a long time.
That's where you would see Alistair, even though his wave is getting pushed in, if it means playing for a second Raptor respawn and making sure that Lilia stays ahead. In other regions, you're going to see that Alistair just sack like 7-8 minions and just go, just to make sure that it actually happens.
Yep, because that's like the biggest like opportunity to really have, and it's exactly what you said. Just like reciting it, like as long as you put RBM behind, you should be willing to like hurt yourself to really hurt like the Nocturne.
So this actually is a really good response from Zeus.
Oh, please don't let him get away. Hit the yes.
Yeah, it was really good.
2 trillion IQ.
Wait, are you still on my Discord stream, or are you running behind?
No, he's watching the Twitch. I can tell because I got it on the second monitor. So whenever Prussian's talking, I'm looking at the stream, and whenever you're talking, I'm looking at the Discord.
I had you in real time. Now I've caught you in 4K or 720 because my good old shit stream.
Because you're on Discord free to play.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. You got to get that Nitro life.
So now Alorum's like able to like start bringing himself back in that matchup because of that level 1. He got cucked and fucked in the top lane.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah. He got.
I guess
Oh,
so.
I actually really like that. I know it's small, but the fact that that bot lane's taking Gromp and rotating it out for RBM is really good.
Yep.
Yeah. It's really good.
So I don't know how much I really want. Actually, this is kind of leaking strats. I don't want to do that.
No, I've seen that from Wildcard. You guys do that a lot.
No.
Yeah.
It's a different strat that I was thinking about. I saw it in LPL.
Okay. Wait,
So,
is
Jensen's
it
in the
where?
chat. Jensen's in the chat.
Is it
no,
where
I'm not
you?
gonna say anything.
Wait,
Don't do it,
is it the one where you suicide mid to give your jungler an
No.
extra 2 waves and put him ahead for the rest of the game?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's the crab actually. It's where they have to walk in. So like you mind control enemy jungler to run into you after you kill yourself for double crab, and then you get a kill back. It's like a refund.
It's the Wildcard special. Hashtag stack the deck. Dude, every buff that is in this game, RBM's like looking at it and just being taken away from him. It's so sad. Oh, man. It's actually just a doomer. So the good thing about this, at least like for C9 too, is like because of just all the wackiness that took place, like, and the fact that Darkwings like did have to burn flash and like had burned like an early TP. Feels like Lucian's had a bigger window, and also Shurn's ahead, so they were able to take dragons this time around. The Kazakhs was sneaking at the game before. I'd actually be curious talking with RBM if he thinks that blue side Kazakhs is better because you can't sneak drags like that.
I mean, it
RBM
definitely.
gets a
I wouldn't
flash.
be surprised if he said that.
Yeah, he knows the
red
champ
side
well
was-
enough, right? He could very easily like, have a side pref.
Yeah, like I definitely wouldn't be surprised. You know, I think it was like Deft who most famously had like really strong preferences on side.
Yeah,
I
the
was trying to
red
remember,
red
it
side
was-
Varus.
it
It was red
was,
side Varus.
and there was one with Jin as well. I just forget.
I think it was red
um,
as well because like how the map works, like the monster objectives, like they have to like funnel in or like some
And
shit.
then it was one of the hyperscaling ADs on blue because you can get the crooks.
It was Jinx. His 90% win rate Jinx.
Was that it? Like, so
Yeah.
so I could like all the details of that. I could be totally fucking wrong.
Yeah.
For anyone that's checking that, but like, I just know like Deft was kind of always whenever I was taught examples of champions having side preference.
Really good TP from
I was
Darkwings.
always told the Deft examples.
Dude, I'm just amazed that Zeus has a gold lead at this point.
Renekton is really good on red side too. Just for another example, that I'm thinking of.
I very much prefer blue side Gnar, and
Yeah.
also I
don't
haven't.
know about blue side Gnar. I've heard that, but the thing about blue side Gnar is it's actually easier to dive on blue side, in my opinion. On red side, pardon, on my opinion. It's easier to dive you when the enemy's playing red side. It's easier.
Oh
to
really? I think it's easier to dive top when you're playing blue side.
I disagree, and the reason is people are more likely to ward the jungle entrances on, like, if you're red side, the tribush, like, it's hard to get behind you and like dive you. Whereas on the blue side, you're less likely to ward your tribush, which is like where you get dough from.
Okay, but like
It's more risky, I think, if you get countered, but it's harder to detect. Like, you're less likely to like be perceptive of it unless you're
yeah,
like,
yeah, because of the terrain, it's so
Spider
much easier to get access to like a red side, like diving like from blue to red.
Wait, I'm sorry. Could you say that again?
So, it's easier like because of how the terrain works, being blue side and diving red top.
You think it's easier?
Yes,
Yeah,
it's more open,
It's
yeah.
easier if there's no wards. Yes, I agree. But people are really likely to ward that and just back off.
Yeah, that's why you just pick Twisted Fate like Norg.
Ah, a savant. I see.
So I'm on the broadcast Friday, and I have an entire like thing prepped talking about Norg's blue side strats because they're OP as fuck. Dude, Darkwing is just getting cyberbullied this game. Feels bad. Holy shit. Does Rhino turn this though? Dude, Rhino is actually such a baller when he has a good game, man. Like he has some like int angles because he's like a playmaker, right? But like when he's on, like he is such a baller. I know like that was like kind of free. They funnel into him, but yeah. Yeah. All right, dude. How is Zeus ahead in this game? Like this is. It's literally been the Pocket Rhino show.
So I think in NA, the Lilia Lucian combo is very similar to like how people execute Caitlyn lanes. They see the combination as OP, but they don't necessarily know how to play around it like super well to where you're like hard punishing. You just kind of understand like the gist of it. You see that a lot in I know there wasn't a whole lot of Caitlyn in Proving Grounds and stuff, but there was a ton of Caitlyn in Collegiate, and I didn't check to see it.
Meech is playing it.
Academy or anything like that. But like Caitlyn lanes, like usually general, like when I see amateur Caitlyn lanes, like I just kind of anticipate them making the mistake and then losing the lane. Similar to like kind of like an NA Jace sort of thing. I kind of see Lilia Lucian as like an honorable mention when it comes to that sort of like combination, because I feel like people are like seldom getting the advantage that you're capable of, not just in like your mid jungle 2v2 and lane and for Raptors, but also transferring that to like potentially losing sides.
Yes.
Darkwing's actually wrecks that
crazy.
fight for
So-
Raheen. That was close.
I agree, and I'm gonna expand on your point, but just to like offer like a parallel. Another thing, ironically, because Wildcard does this, and I guess I'll just leak it because everyone knows it. We do a really good job, and you guys even see it, and they have like the top 5 like gold graphs, like highest gold differentials, and Quacker was on there, and he was like 1,000 gold. And obviously, he plays a lot of Renekton, and we do a really good job at playing around Renekton early. But the really hard thing that we experience, and I think most NA teams do too, is translating that top lane lead vertically towards the bottom lane. And that's something that we've been working, or at least I've been a lot with Quacker, is like communicating that like there's certain timers that you have like vertically to teleport down and make those plays and translate that lead. Like, and that's like a really good example too of like Lilia plus Lucian, or even like Caitlyn plus Morgana. Like with Caitlyn plus Morgana, I feel like it's how do we get this mid lane turret down? Or Lilia versus Lucian, it's like how can we maximize our Raptor gain?
Yeah, like 100%. And like there's kind of two sides of the spectrum with it. You know, if you want to look at more like the controlled side, camp advantage side, you can look at some team like Rogue with Larson and Inspired. Like they play that combination really, really well. They also play the Tristana side really, really well of that too. Substituting the Lucian. But then you also look at teams like RNG, where it's like you pick the Lily Lucian, but you don't even have to put the Lucian mid. You put Lucian top, like Xiao Hu did into Renekton. He played Lucian into Renekton, and then they counterpicked mid for mid prio too. And it was like actually so cracked, So like it just watching how like
Oh my god.
our understanding of what you can get, like maximizing your lead in NA is
watch
just
this
really
Ezreal.
disappointing.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I mean that's crazy.
He was
shit.
he got extra damage on the sweep. There's a really good cancel from Rhino on this combo, by the way. I think
It's all in the amp tone. It's all in the amp tone, you see.
oh my god.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean,
It just feels a lot like Olaf. It feels a lot like Jace, and it feels a lot like Caitlyn lanes. Those are like the biggest ones to me that kind of stand out.
I think, yeah, Lucian too. Renekton comes to mind too. Where like,
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Renekton too.
like very strong champions. Like, just another parallel. Like when people always talk about when they're smurfing, right? Or at least for me, like the hard part of the game is actually getting the lead. Like, but once you get the lead, like you're like better knowledge since you're higher elo or your better mechanics, it lets you just like smurf on these kids and like just push your lead and push your limits basically. It's kind of similar, right?
Yeah.
We're basically just the kids getting smurfed on in this example, where getting the lead is like equal difficulty, but other teams from other regions are just way better at pushing these leads. And are just way more intelligent at like translating them properly and understanding like where they have to translate them or when they can translate them.
Yeah, and a big thing is just like it comes down to what people value fighting over. And Dragon is certainly an option. Herald is certainly an option. but they don't really yield much gold or like much immediate return. And when you're drafting champions that want to spike hard on 2 items before enemies hit their spikes, like you need to make sure, like you don't want gold investment, you want gold now. Like, so I feel like camp respawns, vision denial, zoning side laners off XP, even using support moves to support and AD carry moves to like dive mid, tier 1 and all that sort of stuff. Like, I don't feel like there's enough agency in games. It feels like the game is kind of played 5 minutes at a time. As opposed to like every minute and a half or every 30 seconds at a time.
I swear I can't wait to next game, because that is like, if you want to talk about 5 minute, like, you know, a game that is, let's say, 2 minutes long in increments of 5 minutes, that is like such a perfect example.
All
like
right,
it blew my mind.
I'll start going a little bit faster through this one then, since we've
Okay,
been
yeah,
a little bit
because
quiet.
that is such a one where like I look at this and I look at the parallels from the Barrage game and I'm like, man, it feels like TL learned nothing at all.
Yeah.
I like the team that I
That's
watched
what-
in Northern Arena like did not show up to Proving Grounds, and I was really bummed.
Yo, so that's actually the thing. Like, so APA
Mhm.
is actually like one of the best mids, if not like the best mid at actually just fighting those timers. Like, sometimes it looks like a full send, but like, you know, for example, they had a game on Galio where he's like 0-5 against like no org, but he's like, they're looking for Gromp invade, they're looking to zone enemy top off XP, like he's TPing into match. Like
APA's map play is better than a lot of the Academy midlaners.
So
I will, you
It
know,
depends on the
that's
player.
up for debate, but I think one of the big strengths he has,
Oh my
aside from
God,
just being an
Rhino.
absolute grinder, is the fact that he moves way more willingly and he sees the windows better than a lot of mids.
Oh my God, Rhino. Yeah, no, like yeah, his mis play is very good.
part of that comes from being an ASOL main, but even back on Supernova, that was something that was like I always noted about APA was that his not even his propensity to drop waves. Obviously, he does drop waves at like times where it makes sense to drop waves. Like there's like a risk cost like analysis you kind of have to think about, right? Like sometimes you actually just have to drop waves, even if it's just like, oh, you're dropping a wave here, that's really bad. Like I feel
Yeah,
like there's
you
kind
just
of like
have
a
to do it.
dichotomy that people think about where it's like, wow, this is really bad, you dropped a wave. But you know, sometimes you just have to drop a wave. Like sometimes it's worth.
I've talked
the
to him a lot about that, and like yeah, he has good knowledge of that. I think that we're skipping over. So first off, this team fight, we will go over this from Zeus because
Sure.
this is actually a really good setup response to the Scion ult. So
Mhm.
RBM just presses R, then they go in, they get the rel combo off on 2, and watch this engage from Rhino.
The other thing,
1, 2, 3,
nice
4.
engage,
Yeah.
yeah.
from
That
a
was kind of
Raheen positions really well in this
yeah.
fight too, because he got to the other side of the fight and just assassinated King, and then Alorum just goes off. And then they don't turn for Baron, which Raheen already pointed out in the chat. But this is if they turn for Baron right here, like the game might be won. I get why they're trying to like go for Churnfire, but like yeah.
So here's the thing. Hold on. I just want to let the rest of this play out.
Yeah.
I actually don't think that they should go for Baron. I actually feel like they should
Fast
set up
reset for
You
Dragon.
should just play waves. Both
Yeah,
the waves
Yeah,
over the river.
they could fast reset for Dragon Timer, yeah.
You
That's-
play.
So, and the reason
he
why I
found
say
that
that,
blind?
especially
Jesus.
going back, if you go back a little bit more, I'm not prompting you to do this, but
No, you aren't.
yeah.
All right, here we are.
Okay.
So, minute out from Drag, fight's over.
One more back. One more. Okay, so if they stopped a little bit forward, or even a little bit behind here, they would have had all of their flashes up. And Cloud9 basically have none of theirs on their important players that actually need flash. Like,
Oh, so
that's something-
you're saying is fast reset, get in the river first, and then like take advantage of flash being down, so
I
take
would
another
say
fight.
peel back to the river, place your vision, get your resets, and then your wards are restocked. And then you can arrive on the dragon. They have to clear your vision, but it doesn't matter because now you have fresh vision after they've placed your vision, right? Because your support's on reset.
Honestly,
like-
I think just given death timers, because this is like
Mhm.
this is 30. This looks like 35. Sorry, I have chicken scratch handwriting with this. Zoo, I don't know how you're so good at like drawing with Epic Pen. It's actually disgusting. I have terrible
Okay.
A
hands.
lot of practice, man.
I have terrible hands.
I will
and
say,
terrible
I will
handwriting.
say, honestly, it's not to my own horn or anything. The handwriting is quite nice.
Yeah, no, it's I'm impressed, and you do it quickly. I think that what they should do.
It's the all capital letters. By
They
the
should-
way,
yeah.
straight lines are significantly easier.
They should crash that wave. They should take this camp. They should base immediately. And then, because, like, I get what you're saying about, like, clearing out, like, these wards, but, like, they beat them in there with numbers anyway. And they can also catch...
I agree.
They can also catch these wave. This wave you can let go. It's fine. So we're not going to worry about that one. But you can catch bot wave, and then
But
you can go
principle,
4-1, right?
In principle, like the real, I don't know. I think teams, like, it's good to get kills, but unironically, if you can get these kills without burning your flashes are so important. It's crazy. Like, flashes are so insane. Like, even if you go even in a fight, as long as you have more flashes afterwards, you can just win the next fight.
Yep. And so if they do that, then they force C9 to take a disadvantageous fight or seed. In which case, we haven't talked about, like, who time does the favors for. I think that also King's Ezreal's been fucking nuts this game. Like, I know that it's kind of ego pick with Kaisa, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And then that killed, so we lose tempo off of overextending there for kills, and then
yeah, it's just like
I think, like, RBM, like, it's a tough spot for him.
It's a good try.
It's so tough.
Like, but it's cringe that you're even in this position. Like, fuck.
Yeah, if they just play for tempo, I think they're able to do it. Like,
So Pablo was talking about on Twitter. What do you think about Strideberger versus Prowler Squad Knocker in this game? I know we're back to builds.
Wait,
but...
Pablo was talking about this game on Twitter?
Yes.
Pog.
I mean,
okay, I watch LCO. I watch LCO a bit because Skimmy is my boy now. Because he was really fun to work with in Giant Slayer.
Macas.
Yeah.
Pablo looks at NA. He's one of the people we were talking to for Maryville.
I was about to say, yeah, I wasn't gonna say that myself, but yeah, that makes sense. I don't know. Honestly, I don't have a huge opinion on this. I can see validity for both. I think that if you're able to get Nocturne Rel and then have Kaisa follow up, the lethality is good because you can just take someone down immediately. But also, obviously, like, Stridebreaker, like, the slows are pretty valuable too. I think the solo Stridebreaker is, like, hands down the most valuable part of that item. Like, there's nothing that, like, you can, like, use Stridebreaker for, like, dodge out on, right?
I think it's just for the AoE slow is what he was referring to.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. It's not bad.
This game is fucking over. Just gonna be honest.
Yeah, I know. The fact that Zeus was, like, in the mid game, like, they didn't play for tempo. But we were talking about them not playing for tempo, like, this entire 3 games, and so it just put them in the ass there.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Cubby. I have made an effort to eliminate the word tempo from my vocabulary because that word is, I feel like it's just like a crutch word for coaches.
I 100% disagree.
Okay, really? Okay.
I could not disagree anymore.
Okay, so here's my reasoning. So you can give your
the explanation
All right,
of it is
we'll
super
let this
simple.
play out. We'll let this play out.
Okay, so my reasoning is, what do you mean play out? Like our conversation or the game?
Yeah. Well, like the game and the conversation.
Okay,
this game's
so
over.
I don't have a problem with it in concept. Like, I understand, like, the explanation of tempo from a practical view, like 100%. But the thing is so many people just use it for the wrong thing or for things that, like, just aren't what the definition is supposed to be used for, right?
To be fair, somebody asked me a question in chat yesterday when I was streaming, and they asked about draft tempo. So I'm inclined to agree.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Draft tempo.
Yes, like no, like yeah.
That's
yes, I agree with Ido. I agree with Ido, and this is why I said to ADFX. Language is language. If I want to call freezing a wave a banana, and my players understand, what does it matter? Yes, exactly.
That's true.
I think because the team you're going to ship them off to may not understand banana, but they understand tempo.
Yes, also true. Also true. But I'm thinking, like, just in the short term, right? Like,
sure.
It's just for easy communication to someone else, so someone doesn't, like, get something, like, confused with what I'm saying. But I think in principle, if you're saying it to 5 players that you understand, and they understand that the word you're using is shorthand for, like, a wider game concept, absolutely. I'm just saying, like, tempo as in a way to explain it to, like, the general public, if that makes sense, right?
Wait, guys. All right, hold on. I gotta take a screenshot of Coco here and send it to him. He looks so stoned.
He's on that good shit.
Yeah,
Draft tempo is when you pick your champions really fast, so the enemy has less time to think.
I actually think draft tempo is when you pick all your champions in order.
Oh, I like that. That was that happened a game in LPL. I noticed it. I think it was
Yeah,
FPX.
well, it was literally, I think it was both teams did it in order.
Yep,
or
it was FPX
it
versus
was,
JDG
yep,
game 2. I
JDG
remember
game
it.
2. Yep. And then when Maryville was in Hong Kong for Collegiate Champs in 2019, we actually did it as well. We did B1 Aatrox into a 2-3 Gragas Yasuo into a 4-5 Ezreal Bike.
I agree. You can always use more specific terms. I just think tempo is just so overused that's kind of lost its proper meaning. That
Well,
I think.
Sure. Okay.
I just think specifically in the terms of public content, like if you're talking to players and they understand what your shorthand means, like I think that's like really good, right? Because that makes communication easier. But if you're saying like public content wise, like it's better to just use a more accurate word that more properly conveys what you're trying to explain, if that makes sense.
Sure. And that's where you can combine it with things, for example, like I say tempo quite often, but I also say things like, first move, second move, like that
Yep.
sort of stuff. And, you don't have to use the same word all the time, but I actually think like understanding movement, like is something that NA just doesn't really prioritize at all. And I understand that, a lot of people misuse it. At the end of the day, I can only control the way I say it, and then I can try to use my sphere of influence to try and influence others to maybe do it my way too. And maybe my way isn't right, but like I certainly put efforts in to talk to the right people to make sure it's right.
Yeah,
And
I would just say like consistency is like the most important thing, so we're all talking about the same thing, like orthodoxy, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, over time, I would definitely like to be able to like change certain people's outlooks on that stuff, but it's like as of right now, I can kind of only control the way I use it.
Yep.
But I'm also thinking like long term too. Like I'm thinking like every player that we bring into Maryville, like I'm anticipating that they could go somewhere else, right? So in professional, so I'm trying to help set them up for those teams, not just for mine.
Yeah, we have like we talk about like timers to like cover and like make plays. The way that like we define it is like, all right, like guys, I can like cover or like I have big timer, which is like the stupidest thing.
Yeah.
Like we all know it's like, all right, like we like look
I
for a
have
play.
long timer or I have big timer.
We call it big timer. It's like a running joke now. It's bad, but it's what it is. Okay. Something that we didn't do for the first set that I actually kind of like to do is talk about like the win cons for each team, because I think that like it is important to talk about like what teams play, like what their style is, just based on like it helps us like figure out decisions like they're making, right?
Yeah.
So hold on, the first one Nar was actually first picked in this series.
Yep.
Holy shit. Okay. I know that Tally's really good at this, but
oh my god,
as everyone in the chat's going off about
Gabe in chat just said Tim took cookies. Why?
Yeah, Tim did take cookies on Lilia.
I'm losing it, man. I'm losing it.
He was hungry. I had to have a mid-game snack.
That's what every jungler says, and it's like, holy shit, man. No.
One in early boots.
Okay, so this draft, I see Ezreal and Takaisa, and I'm like, oh, fuck, dude. But, so, there is a lot of good things about TL's draft, unironically, though. So, I think a really good thing...
I don't like their draft.
I don't like their draft, but there are good things. So the Victor here is really good because all of GG are really short range and they have to run to the Victor, and that's like what Victor wants.
Yeah.
TL have like a solid poke composition that matters less because they just pick Karma. So like shout out Wolverine, but like, it's just not gonna work, Like these poke comps, like they're still really good. Like LPL plays them all the time and they work really well for a reason because they're insane at controlling space. But it's Karma. Like it's kind of hard. Like TL's comp is, I don't think it's necessarily terrible, but like it's way harder to execute, in my opinion.
A lot of the poke comps too require you to be able to have 2-3 pushing lanes early, so that you can be able to shift within one another and overload lanes. But
I know that
you have an Ezreal Alistair lane, and then you have an Argus Karma. Like, what are you doing? And a Victor, like, what are you doing?
I know that we talked about that last game. We should have seen a Vayne instead of Ezreal. I think that this game, this actually should be a Vayne.
Yes,
Vayne would fucking slap here.
The problem is, I'm pretty sure Jan doesn't play Vayne. Like, I've never seen Inoki ever play this.
That's the dream pick. This is more of a Jan pick. Also, what I was about to point out, which Empire is now pointing out in the chat, There's no setup for the Nidalee,
Yep,
which
yep,
is
I
really
talked about
so.
that too.
I think this should be a volley, like, and that would.
Um,
I know that, like, you got like 3 beefcakes and it'd be like easily countered. It's like a first pick Gnar is like weird, but I don't like the Nidalee when you have no gank setup, or like at least like take some setup for it, right?
no, I mean, fan
Like
is saying
yeah.
like Lilia,
Lilia for
maybe,
tempo
and
would
like
be better blind, yeah.
I would prefer going Lilia and play
Yeah,
more
yeah.
with counter engage and
That's
all
fine
that
if
sort
you
of
want
stuff,
AP,
and then you
yeah.
can opt into an AD mid. But this B1 to B3 takes the cake of like, if I was a player, I'd want to alt F4.
Well, I mean, I obviously GGA took their notes from Northern Arena too, because like Armeo on
This feels so
Udyr,
bad to jungle with, to be honest.
Armeo like on Udyr with like jungle tempo was doing really well in Northern Arena. Like he was making good decisions, he was snowballing the map. But no, yeah, the Nidalee is super in.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think
there's no setup.
I think the end product isn't like the absolute worst thing ever unwinnable. I feel like getting there like looks absolutely like a train wreck, and at the end of the day, I still don't think it's very good compared to Golden
Dude,
Guardian.
I mean, like if they want to make this work, like I don't know.
I don't even think
this pick would like feel terrible, but like you could Galio mid, you could set mid. Like,
no, don't go Galio. I'm sorry.
Galio's yeah, but like you could like at least like give like Nidalee like some place to go. Like I know like you're blinding it, but I say Galio because I know that Harry plays it.
I don't know, man. It's hard. Like
you could just play fucking Darius mid in this. There wasn't a Karma. No, I'm kidding.
No.
Only kind of. Dude, I actually am sold. I know that Command Attack's pushing the Darius counter pick and the Silas. I'm fucking sold on that. It's unplayable.
Don't pick it here. Don't pick the Darius here.
No, not here. But yeah, I just want to bring up the Darius Silas matchup. It actually is a fucking unplayable matchup.
But let's get on with the game. Just looking at this makes my eyes kind of sore.
Okay. A Zoe for like at least like then you get something that Nidalee can hit. And you just like commit to poke maybe.
Yeah, it's okay, but then all the dive is at a premium because they're running into nothing, right? Like they run in and they win if you have Zoe.
That's true. That's true.
No, Blue definitely has a chance to absorb once they kind of hit their levels and stuff. But whenever I see comps like this on the Blue side, I just think to myself, okay, let's see if Red can win the game or not. Like, or if they're going to lose for themselves. You know, like these sorts of comps, I feel like if I'm Blue, I feel like the only way I consistently win games with this is if the enemy team throws. Like you know, so to me, you just I don't know. This actually doesn't feel good.
I know it's small and it didn't work, but I actually really like that level 1 from Golden Guardians. Fnatic's on the Stride Breaker train, by the way, for Knock.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I kind of zoned out when y'all were talking about that, but yeah, I mean Stride Breaker, I think it's just better.
Okay, both junglers going for full clear pathing to the correct side of the map.
We saw this a lot in LPL, where Nara is really bad early, and I even think
shit, Tally.
Yeah.
Also, I do want to give props to Morgan, who yesterday on our podcast said that GGA would 2-0, and we called him crazy, and he was right. So
I mean, Morgan's actually really smart. Like,
oh yeah, no, like for
Morgan
sure,
is a weird dude. Like, I'm just gonna say it. Morgan's a weird dude.
I didn't know that he did like a bunch of music stuff. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
He is a weird dude.
I like him. I really would have preferred if Nidalee did Red Raptors and pathed up here, so she could at least gank top before scuttle timing. But it looks like Tally. It looks like Tally and Young. Like, to me, this is a little bit grief. Like from GG solo laners, like I feel like with you have hard CC and you have a Karma, like you should absolutely be moving. Even though the waves aren't crashed, you're the one that gets first move, so you should absolutely use it. If it means putting a Nidalee out of the game, like you need to get out of your lane. And now, like this guy's just nothing happens because this TV2 is awful or TV1's awful. But if Nidalee just goes Red Raptors and pass up, then she actually gets to gank top when Gnar is mega and Karma hadn't crashed the wave. So you could actually potentially pull Karma Flash. Yeah,
that's really good from Shime. Holy shit!
Yeah, that's a nice one.
That works in like 99% of cases, but Jenkins played the matchup so bad that I don't even think it would have been possible.
That's true. He was sub 100 HP level 1.
Agree. Like in principle, that play absolutely should work. It's just like you played it so
Shine?
badly.
Okay.
Yeah, Fan, you can solo start and then have your bot lane get pushed because the rel alley, or just like the 2v2 matchup, you can get the push and then move
Wait,
and take it yourself.
how does Rosethorn not step on this? Oh wait, no, that's the
I agree
opposite.
with you.
Tim is pathing God. Well,
I mean, this is a Giga punish from so GGA. They crash first 3 waves and then they just walk as a
so-
duo, ward Krugs, and then gank bot. This is actually
think-
really, this is so
I
sick.
think that gank. Well, I think that gank timer is. I think the gank timer top is what kills their bot lane. Like I think
Yeah,
this.
no, that's
this is
a good
hard
point,
to
that's a good
go.
point,
This
that's
is
a good
hard to
point.
go for if Nidalee is just playing for her own pacing and
That's a good point.
she's covering bot lane through lane and not going through jungle
Mhm.
because she should know that.
And to be fair to
We're
GGA
gonna be bot
too,
here first.
they do the scouting, right? Like look at this, they loaded up like a Christmas tree on their way in.
Yeah, but that you can
Yeah,
pass
go
all
to
those
lane.
wards by just walking through lane, and then you want to go to your Krugs anyway, so you're just walking through lane anyway. It's the fastest way for you to get there.
Yeah, no,
So-
I'm just saying that like
Yeah.
they're looking for Nid, and since they don't see her, and like since they just saw her top, they're like, we're just gonna fuck these guys' day.
Yeah, but
and look at this.
yeah,
wave
so
state.
like they wouldn't see her anyway, because she would be in lane.
yeah,
Right.
I agree.
right, they
with-
wouldn't see her unless she starts Krugs, which they would see her because they have a word on that. But yeah,
It's kind of an int from TL bottom lane.
Yeah, like this is a timer that you have to respect. Like
Yeah.
if you're dying in
Yawn
between the
does have
timer
four,
of 4
yeah.
to 5 minutes, like I think you're just not very
Grasp
disciplined,
something,
or
yeah.
something in the game went way out of sync. Like,
yeah, Yawn. I'd say that the top lane got things out of sync, but also Yawn does have a ward up, and they Chime trades flash for flash on him here, which is huge.
Yep.
So and the wave is just fucked. So this is really good play from Prismo and Chime
yeah.
and Rosethorn to be fair. But yeah,
We didn't even talk about win conditions, by the way. But I think Victor is like kind of insane here. Like Victor is like the
Really good
best
champ
pick
here, I
they
guess.
Yep, the best pick they could have really asked for, and he's like clearly their win condition. But the problem is like there is no gank setup because they have Nidalee and he's playing Victor.
I think
So-
the issue is RFCTF. I think that like that kind of breaks it. Like you just like if you play it right, you can get tempo and sides, then you can like kind of like you have like that bonus range to like kind of get on them.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I was wondering what you guys would think about this, but I feel like cleanse might be more important than teleport on Harry this game. And my reasoning is if you have cleanse, you can not build the Merc Treads, and you can go Lucidity Boots.
Yeah, potentially.
Um,
TP is like so useful for like early game, but also like
yeah, but it's also
literally
a
so
600
fucked.
cooldown.
And you need cleanse to
What
function.
are you talking
there.
about? Like, so same comps and everything.
Yeah.
Should Victor take cleanse this game? Yeah.
Um,
Find the
well,
word,
yeah, I feel like the one of the routes you can take with that is if you just take the cleanse and then you just accept that your team comp has no way of accelerating early game, so you just kind of play for you base second on your enemy gets first base mid on you, and then
Yep.
you just concede first Drake timer, and then they have tempo, you concede
shit.
Herald, and then you go down like 2-3k, and then you just win at 3 items.
They full
Yeah.
sense.
So
Also, you save 200 golden boots, and that's on the micro scale.
Sure.
You do hit your-
150 next patch.
Oh,
Uh,
Harry burned his ult on the wave, by the way, so he's not able to cancel his port, so Unity sticks it right in the middle of his face. Look at that.
Yep.
Yeah, they're right on top of each other, and then they just... this is the flash for flash coming up pretty big, too. Props to Unity for the gold card flash as well. Didn't matter in the long run, but nice little mechanical play. Good play from Golden Guardians, right? They're just playing around, freezing bot, and punishing, because now they have sums out. This is good.
So
I know Zoo talking about, like, we talked a lot about, like, 2-minute timers yesterday. They're doing a really good job of that in this one.
Yeah.
I cleanse and TP. I don't have like a huge opinion. If he took cleanse, I could say like, yeah, I see why. If he's taking TP here, like it's a comp game at a high level, like I can see why. Missing waves is very punishable in comp, right?
another
Yeah, I
thing-
mean, if you're going TP, I think the optimal use for TP is using TP to match TF's first level
Yes.
6.
Yes.
And like I think you just take the L in lane and you accept the fact that TF is going to be able to push, get first base on you, and then he's going to be able to respond instead of trying to be a champion that gets into lane first and then he's like, "Oh, I forgot. I don't need 4 minions because I'm TF. I'm just going to go kill bot lane because you TP'd mid." You just take the L in the lane, you go down a couple CS, in my opinion, then you use TP to match.
Yeah, you're gonna be infinitely more useful as the game goes on. I still think that, and I think that RFC TF is like definitely a big concern. I know that.
Yeah, I mean,
The
yeah,
game
for
that
sure.
No-
And
the game 2 that Norg played it against GGA, like once TF got RFC, the game was like kind of over. Like they like missed their
Except
window.
for
It
Twitch
was
too
tough.
good in that game. I know what you're talking about.
yeah,
Yeah, it was really tough.
So the other thing is like Victor, other than the cleanser, the tenacity in his runes, he has no good answer because you can't Banshee's Veil. If the TF knows what he's doing, doesn't work against TF Cold Card.
Yep.
Because of how his ult works, he pops ult and that pops your Banshees, and then
yep.
Also, I actually really like the swap here from Golden Guardians. They're already up bot lane. They're first to the play. And even if TL decides to cross map, right, and just take the dragon, they're trading up because they're denying resources from a Gnar compared to a Karma, where you don't need as many resources on the Karma. And they're going to get Herald, which, like, for free with his top prio, most likely. So I like this from Golden Guardians. I'm curious to see how they execute upon it, but I think the theory's there. And that's like one thing that like a lot of teams like don't consider when like doing rift swaps is like which top laner operates better with less resources, and then also like how a rift swap like how like securing rift herald works. Like a lot of people are like, oh, it's like my support's there first, I get to play. It's like actually top lane priority. It's like you force them to like miss out on like 9 to 12 creeps, or, you know, contest the rift, which in this case, they crashed the wave. They had to clean it up. They weren't there on time because GG were first on the map with the first play.
Do you feel,
it's really good.
Do you feel like it's a good idea for TL to match the swap?
No.
Yeah, I think it's grief.
Yeah,
like
no.
It's
I think that they lose a bunch of tempo off of it. Yeah.
I personally don't like swapping for Herald. I like just playing through mid instead, but
I like it,
you know,
if you're
obviously
Golden
it's
Guardians
situational.
and you're able to do
It's
that. Like what they
situational,
did.
yeah, but
because GG like they had the timer to do it, and they executed upon it. Yeah.
This to me just feels like now GG controls top side of the map. Now they're gonna recall. Now they're gonna control bot side. TL is gonna reset. They're gonna go bot side.
At least then they could have traded out Mountain. Yeah.
It's not gonna be a dance. It's gonna be like GG are just constantly stepping on TL's feet.
Yeah. Also,
You know,
where's our Mayo in all this? He's
farming.
kind of. Yeah, he has like a weird recall though, because like I feel like he's recalling here because he's like, oh, I need to be top to like rival this play, but like even like the play would be over if like GG went for it.
Yep.
I mean, it's TF had no ult at the time. I actually, you know, it's just them matching this swap is so ridiculous. Like TF has no ult, and if they're preemptively swapping and you can just push in bot and get 2 plates and like all that shit, you're
so
breaking
yeah,
even.
so
like
Rosethorn,
there's not really a whole lot of counterplay. It's Karma TPing in your lane.
Rosethorn's saying that if they don't match, then they lose the plate war, which
it doesn't matter. You're losing the early game regardless. Like, why would this team composition?
I think
Ezreal,
that
Alistair, Victor want to match a TF rel.
Yeah, and the Mountain Drake is actually really valuable as the game goes on.
That's silly. Like, wouldn't you rather like just cross map, get 2 plates on your 80 carry, and
lose gracefully,
get first Drake so that you can buy yourself a guaranteed like extra 5 minutes. You know exactly where the team is going to be, and if you're not contesting them, you know exactly what they're going to do, so you get guaranteed time to just scale up. Like, it's just sure if both team compositions need to function the same way, I 100% agree. You lose the plate war, and those plates make a huge difference. But like this comp, I just feel like you're going to lose early game regardless.
Also, Prismal's right. Like, their bot stays to push another wave, you can just go back bot, which is what GGA did. And then they get their cake and they eat it too with the Mountain Dragon. Also, Mountain Drake, sure. I hate talking about individual Drakes, but actually in this game, the individual Mountain Drake for TL would actually be really valuable. Like, having a little bit of bonus resistances on both the Victor and the Ezreal against a team that is lacking in % health damage outside of, like, you know, Kai'Sa's passive is actually pretty good. Like, that's something, and resistances matter more on your squishies, and so when you're running a 2-threat comp, it's worth a lot.
This isn't a concern yet, but something that happens as the game goes on that becomes apparent is Harry, and this happened against Barrage too. Harry is really, really bad sidelining.
Okay, we'll have to look at it.
Yeah, that's like a mental note.
Great input, Jake Rostor.
Yeah, so Rosethorn,
Teammates
I
over
agree with
here.
what you're saying. Like in theory, I just like don't think it's relevant to blue side's like team comp, you know?
Thank you, too.
But if if they if their team comp wasn't this, then I would agree
Yeah.
for sure. No problem. That was a good insight though. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're right. They definitely do lose the race, but at least you trade something, right?
Mhm.
I do like
I
Everfrost
usually-
in this composition for Nid.
It's kind of like a corny thing to say, but like one of the things I like to say to, you know, when I'm like helping out other collegiate programs or like just doing like one-on-one coaching and stuff or like team coaching is just I usually like to say like if you trade in a situation, it usually won't lose you the game, but if you opt into a losing situation, like when you could have traded, like that could potentially lose you the game. Like has a higher chance of losing the game than if you're just trading like on even tempo.
Prismo,
You
if they were taking Dragon, like like if they like didn't match the swap, they probably end up getting a plate or two. We're not saying they take 5, but
Sure.
they at least take the Dragon as well.
Sure.
Where,
So
like, they
even
lose
if
everything instead.
Sure. So even if they don't get plates, so that's a good point, Prismo. Like even if they don't get plates, you gain absolutely nothing by swapping top. Like at least you're going to be able to. So when, whatchamacallit, when you guys want to swap back for Drake, yeah, you just get turboed everywhere. So that's kind of what I was saying. It's like this
Yeah.
game is less of a dance, and it's more you guys are stepping on their feet because they're trying to step where you're trying to step, but you're there first every single time, right? And I know it doesn't, you know, to step on the foot, you have to step on top, which means they're there first. But the I know it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but generally instead of like left right, it's kind of like just both teams on top of each other. They're just gonna ram into you nonstop. And then the thing there is just if you guys are going to be heralding top, like Jenkins still has TP, you know, you can create a situation where you use support to like push out, put Ezreal in the 1v1 with Karma, have support push out mid, and then you move jungle mid support down bot, and then you threaten with the Gnar TP as well. You know, so like
I think also Jensen does bring up a good point. Is that if you don't match and like you make that trade happen like cross map, both teams have to overstack and you're able to keep mid neutral. So like you're
okay, yeah,
getting
that's
extra
a
free
good point
time with
too.
Victor. Yeah, that's a good
fair.
point. I
That's a
didn't
good point.
think about that. Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Okay. This is a fight that's pretty important for TL to win, and they do win it. Because this is
Yeah,
when
they
Trigger hits his first spike.
they give up a lot too.
Yeah, they
Like
do.
like to like find the fight. A good re-engage from Ayla to get one.
They give
Honestly,
up
it
a
is a pretty
lot,
close
but
fight.
They
Yeah, 'cause
like,
they
good like for TL.
oh, actually not really. They set up top lane pretty well. They just crashed that.
Well, wait, what?
Like TL like just like crash tops, like they aren't losing anything up there, and then bots pushing
it's
back
really
into
good
them.
for TL. It's good that TL won this. Like,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is like at a really big advantage for TL.
Yeah,
and now
they
they
just bad.
like go and catch sides, and they get the dragon, and they bought a lot of space for Victor, and they made good use of his first like spike.
First spike with Ludens. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh god. Good engage from Jenkins. I like that from Jenkins too. Like, there's no like the GG can't follow up because the wall's there, right? And
yeah, it's cringe that teams are still like having a hard time playing around the Narvar. Like this shouldn't have really been this easy to set up. Even though I think like if a fight were to happen here, I think TL probably should win just because of like the relative strength of the items they're on. Like it shouldn't really be possible like this. But,
yeah, it's actually pretty funny because I think last time you and I talked, I said Gnar is one of the most overrated champs because for amateur, because amateur teams won't know how to split push around Narbar. But the thing I didn't think about is just that it doesn't matter because it's offset. It's offset because the enemy doesn't know how to play into it anyway. So I was like, wow, that's actually crazy. And then I thought to myself, it offsets even more because I was like, wait, NA doesn't even side lane. So like,
it's like, holy shit, it's actually genius.
Checkmate. Like, right. Damn.
We're all stupid.
I know that we've memed about not side laning, but that was a good timer for TL to overstack mid and find that play. That was well done.
Yeah. It's far from simple, Jensen, but that's kind of our point. You know, is like it's tough and it's a big investment to try and learn how to play around it. It's not like a super simple thing that we just don't understand, but it's like it's something that's very hard for amateur to implement properly.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Playing around Meganar isn't that simple. I absolutely agree. But in that instance, I don't think it was that hard. Like, I really don't like. There are definitely.
Oh, we got flash too. Okay, never mind. That's
where
good.
it's like, oh, man, this dude is just gonna hit Mega at like the perfect point. But he was Jenkins was like lagging at that point. Well, not lagging. He was like leading. Like, if you want to get into like scientific terms, I guess. Like, he hit Gnar way too early before like the dragon was even like considered being started.
So Yunbi goes down there, but they get Ezreal flash. That's he might have been able to go for Armeo, who also had flash, and Everfrost, but it would have been better positioning. I don't know, man. I think that once Golden Guardian gets rapid fire can in this game, I haven't seen this game. I think it gets real hard for TL.
I think it gets harder, but I feel like the thing that TL really have is that they have the Victor and they have to fight into the Victor. Like, they have to play around the Victor, they have to get the Victor ahead, they have to get resources onto this Victor.
And this Victor is fed as fuck.
So the biggest thing I want you to pay attention to that I was talking about before with some people is I feel GG have a really easy time playing team fights if they have their flashes up. Flashes are way more important for GG relative to TL, in my opinion. And I want you to pay attention to how TL use their flashes versus how GG uses their flashes throughout this game. Because I think by the time this game ends, we will kind of like come to a conclusion together.
Okay, Chime. Okay. Wait.
Like, because
well,
notice how GG all dump their flashes at the same time, even though they're like behind. And it basically means that they just win this fight because they all use their flash at like the correct time.
No, hold on. Jensen's right. This is really like,
yeah. I mean,
TL have total control here, but Jenkins shows on this wave, and then they just like full send it because they're able to find the angle. Like, yeah, Armeo like face check, so they just full send. So Armeo needs to like play up in that pocket and like wait for the Gnar to come around before he gets split from the team, and then it ends up getting punished.
I mean, I absolutely agree, but like,
this is big from Chime too.
Yeah, exactly.
And good follow up from Rosethorn as well. Yeah, no, I see what you mean though. Like, because they
don't respect like the potential range of their engage. Because of how like they burn
also Harry dies to this Kaisa Q, which is or this Kaisa auto, which is gross.
It crits too, so
they let GGA into the river. It cuts the Gnar off. Okay, well they have to. Okay, so GG they seed. Hold on. So GG they clear mid. So what you're saying is that you want TL to hold this choke with their life, because they do sneak around here to do it. They don't need to send both Ez and Victor to push mid.
Yeah, I mean,
okay. So they're gonna hold this choke with their life. Okay. That yeah, makes more sense. Okay.
I agree. I mean,
yeah, because no. Oh, okay. Yeah, he's right. He's right.
They also have to space properly too. Like, even here, like, I agree. Like, laying the ribbon.
This is a good point from Jensen, because if these guys are up in here, then they get Ezreal and Victor poke into this ramp, and then also you have Gnar that's a lot closer to the party. No, that's a good call. That's a good call.
Yes.
That's a good call. And then I see, like, I 100% agree with you by this. This is also a lot of space to be apart in fog. So I think that I will give the benefit of the doubt to GG on execution with the fight a little bit, but I agree with you that it's a bad setup from TL. But GG, they do pounce on it, right? And
I mean,
they absolutely just clean the fuck up.
Like, you know, it's like good thing, bad thing. Like,
yeah. It's a mistake, but GG made a sick play to punish, right?
Yeah, GG punished it.
Huh. No, that's yeah. You guys are right. You guys are right. That's good. Good catch.
So now, okay, even though they just lost this fight, right? GG burnt all of their summoners on it, and it's actually still pretty hard for GG to like take these kind of fights and get in range and like just get on top of the victor, right? Without all these like flashes, mechanisms for engage. But the thing is for the next 5 minutes, TL don't do anything. Like, I read that thread that you made, Sue, and it really made me like I agreed with it because like obviously even the points we covered this game, not this game, but this like sitting down and talking about this like kind of echoed those points to a degree where we're talking about like, oh, we're playing for minor camp spawn timers, or we're playing for side wave, like punishing what they're doing with side waves, but like.
I love this from Golden Guardians, actually.
Yeah.
Look at this. The instant, and they know that flashes were burned, right? They know that this doesn't exist. They know that this doesn't exist. They know that this doesn't exist.
They see Victor top.
Yeah, the instant they see them, they just fucking go. And they full send it in a choke where Rel is going to hit a big engage. Oh, it's actually really good cancel from Ayla. But they still get wrecked. Yeah. Yumi dies, doesn't matter.
It's not like a clean win, I don't think, for Golden Guardians Fire.
Oh, it isn't. Oh, okay. Okay, hold on. So that's big from Ayla that he cancels that. It's real big. So they blow up. Dude, Ayla buys so much time actually, and then Yunbi kind of suicides from his initial positioning, and then Jenkins goes big.
Generally, like
Cancel
from this
from Sean
series,
again.
I think that most players are actually mechanically like not bad. Like I don't think these OS players are bad. Like Harry and Ayla, I think their mechanics are good. I actually think Harry's laning is really, really good. But like when it comes to like a later game, like macro decisions or side laning, like I feel like Harry is behind even like the NA mid laners.
I think Ayla was arguably one of the best performing players in all of Academy.
Yeah,
so
I mean, I agree. I saw him like in OPL, like,
guy's
so much.
fucking sick.
Like, I thought he was insanely good. But
yeah, I think him and Isles are both pretty fucking sick.
How does TLA lose this game? They fight exactly when GG want them to. Like
yeah, like all flashes are down. This is the worst engage that GG could have gotten, and it's still like an even fight. Like if they were able to get another clean engage off, like this, because like, it's the right timer for them to fight.
Yes.
Jenkins holding the choke is huge, though.
I disagree. I don't think it's necessarily the right timer for them to fight. Like I think it's like still a good engage, but I think like
it's just blue side griefing. It's just
exactly. I feel like
blue side griefing. Just call it what it is. Like they're like TF's ready to move. Red side's off waves. They don't. Blue doesn't have the best info. They're collecting waves. Like it's just in. And then the other team is TF and Kaiser Rels that they're able to pull.
Harry isn't even the best OS mid laner in this game. Yeah, I don't know about that one. I don't think Tally's better at mid than Harry is. But
I forgot he played mid for the right.
Yeah, he coached Tally, so he loves.
Hey,
Tally.
he did win in the final.
It's okay. We all know Chaz is the best OS mid laner, so we're good.
Oh, someone's been on the Pabu train.
Oh,
wait, isn't Chaz like only playing Ahri over there?
No.
Okay.
Chaz was on my radar for a while. I wanted to put him in my OS video, but I just didn't have space. But he was really good even on the last split on it wasn't Avant Gaming. It was can't remember team. It wasn't like Avant Gaming, but it was like the team that looks like Avant Gaming.
I think Get Back is a bit underrated as well.
Yeah, I've seen Get Back. I honestly
I would say his mechanical ceiling isn't as high as some of the other mids, but his thought process is very sound, he's a very workable player. So I feel like Get Back in the hands of like the right coach would actually yield arguably the highest results.
I think Get Back's good. I don't know if you've seen Chaz. I think Chaz is really good. He wasn't.
I haven't. No, so admittedly, I haven't watched enough of him, so I would have to do that first. Yes,
I think Chaz.
I'm going based off like the combine that I saw in November and all that sort of stuff too. So
I think the setup from GG is really good.
But not so. As you see, GG have flashes back up, and they're about to win another fight because of it. Even though TL have.
Yeah, but look at the setup. Like Jenkins just hit Mini, and they have like the perfect flank with Chime, like on Armeo. Like Ayla isn't here to mark him, right?
Yep.
Like this is just.
Yep.
Yeah, like oh my god.
Too, so
oh my god. Yeah, exactly. It's right when Mega ends.
They all burn flashes again, and they all get like this crazy good engage, and they just like do complete like damage. Like because they're not really respecting like these summoner cooldown
Oh,
timers.
Chime
And
hit the
they have
3-man
to play around
stun.
them.
Yeah, it was a
Holy
nice
shit.
engage.
Also, where is Harry in this fight? Like, he doesn't have faith in his support, and then, like, I think the only way that, like, you can play this is if... Oh, shit, dude, it's actually so doomed for him. He can't zone this here, though, because, like, even, like...
Nope.
It's
you're
so
right.
doomed. It, like, the angle they take here is really good. Like, the dude is just a fucking dog pile.
Wait, no, he had flash. You just flash first, then you zone his
Yeah, exactly,
second if you
yeah.
have to
Yeah.
kind of troll.
Where
Allows
he's-
them to reposition for free.
Yep.
He doesn't even get cap. Oh wait, he does get capstone. My bad.
He didn't get... he got one laser off that fight.
Yeah, I was thinking about his ult. So the thing about Victor ult is like when you can reposition it, it doesn't say it's on cooldown. So I was looking for the cooldown, but it was already on the board.
Jeez.
And
It's
now
good play. It's good play from Golden Guardians. I mean, I love... They're on the same page. I love it.
Exactly. They're just playing around like when they're capable of doing these things really like well. Like,
I'm with Fnatic though. I don't know what happened to TL with their like the neutral setups. I think that honestly the Udyr denial was really big. Like I think that like TL for whatever reason Armeo was just on Udyr duty, the Udyr Olaf duty the entire tournament, and that tempo they were like kind of using that as a crutch. I think because like they were looking really good. Like that best of 5 against FlyQuest. I know it was 3-1. But both teams, I thought, had a really good showing. Like, I thought that FlyQuest, like, they love to seed early games and play for later Dragon Control. Like, they were able to do that. Like, there were some really close games between the two of them.
I don't think like Harry's performances, like just between regular season and even Northern Arena, between like it's just so different. Like especially that Kassadin game was just so terrible.
That was a bad pick. That was a brutal.
I don't like. I agree. Like it wasn't like an amazing pick, but even then, like, that game was so winnable. He pretty much solo lost the game, in my opinion. Like when I say solo lost, I mean like the game was in position and it was on track for them to win, and Harry trolled it. Not that like he just went 0-19 or something.
Yeah. I actually thought APA played pretty well that game.
He did.
Victor Kassadin, yeah.
But it was just like Harry just was like set up for success, and they just threw it.
Oh, that stun cancel from Chime.
Yeah. Now at this point, Prismal is so fed, and Prismal is like
look at his positioning, man. He's just untouched with his terrain.
It's like
this is just hitting him with your wallets, you know.
Yeah, and like TL just, GG, they have a composition that just wants to run in and kill you, and TL basically gave them every opportunity to do so.
Well,
and
also,
granted,
I think it's like a pretty rough draft still.
I think GG is like, well, the thing is like, I think TL's composition isn't bad, like we talked about this, like how it's not unwinnable, but like GG's composition is way easier to execute, and at a level like this, that matters a lot.
Yeah, it does. So. I also just really liked like GG playing with the TF timers, like knowing the flash timers and like how fast they were pulling the trigger, and then the angles that Chime was finding. It was really good shit. It was really good shit.
Mm-hmm. Can I get like 2 minutes to go to the bathroom?
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna grab a cough drop actually because I'm struggle busing, but we're doing good on time. If this game goes long, we might be just in time to raid Kelsey's stream for LPL. I don't know when that starts, but oh man. Oh, how we doing today, chat? Thanks for being involved. I appreciate it. So I mean, part of the reason that I'm doing these is to get many minds around the table and have good discussion about the game. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it. I appreciate all the contributions across the board. It's fun. So yeah. All right. Now let me take care of my homework or cough drop in water necessary.
Here, I'm here.
Perfect timing.
Nice.
Oh god, dude, I've ran 14 miles the last 2 days, and I'm like, over the
Let's
winter,
go.
I was like mostly like elliptical shit. I'm like strengthening the lower body to make sure I'm like prepped to like do my marathon this year. I like to train for that. I'm sore. I'm hurting, man. It's not good. Oh boy. All right.
I didn't pay very close attention to this game when I watched it live, so I'm interested to see going back to this.
Yeah. So we have the Victor matchup flipped actually. Yeah, they GP, I think. Because I remember Wolverine being in the chat like they should have karma'd again.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Hey, what's up, Coach Scuffy? Appreciate the follow, man. Appreciate the follow from everyone so far. Raison Corregor, also Jensen or Jupiter Storm, appreciate it. Magical subs earlier. Bloody Ducks followed. Prismal followed. Mitch Trubisky 69 followed. I'm a big Bears fan, and the IGN Cubby kind of comes from my Chicago sports fandom, as I am in Chicago. But Cubs and Bears, man, that's where it's at. Fucking Mitch Trubisky, man. Anyway, all right, back to this game.
Wolverine said that Karma R5 would have ended the game. I understand what he's saying, but I don't really like it because then you're
No, it's not good against TF.
triple magic damage. So
Yeah, no, it's not good this game. I know Peter Elman's the same way. I think GP is perfectly acceptable. Even though I'm not a huge fan of the GP Gnar matchup. I think that Gnar can win it pretty hard in the later game.
I will abstain because I'm not super familiar with that matchup.
It is a tally specialty for sure.
I'm familiar with the tally GP.
Yeah, it's really good. You know what else is tally specialty though? Fucking Aurelia, which to be fair, that'd be a terrible pick this game, but I want to see it again. It was really hyped to see it in Giant Slayer. It'd be fucking terrible in the VoD, not, but yeah.
Like Silas has same issues. Like it's just triple magic damage.
Cho'Gath would be very playable. He's true damage. I know it's triple magic damage, but like he's true damage. It doesn't matter.
I don't hate it. I mean, I don't really like Cho'Gath and Gnar personally as a Cho'Gath player.
Yeah, I know. You could
I feel
Camille.
I think Jensen might be saying that Cho'Gath is Tally's specialty because Tally plays
can't
Cho'Gath
Camille.
med.
I don't know, like the weird part about this for GGA is like it feels like they are seeding every lane, right? Like we're gonna play Zaya, Nakaisa, Nautilus, right? We're gonna play Victor and TF. We're gonna have Lilia. Like we are really seeding things, and I'm kind of worried about. I feel like if Lilia's like not able to like get like some kind of like funky pathing off, like they could get choked out in the early game, right?
This is, I think, the absolute perfect. I think the only way that this example could be any better, for what I was saying about they give the enemy the space to win the game, but it's in a tight window, and teams in NA can't really, accomplish ending the game in that window. This comp with Hecarim instead would be, I mean, I guess with Lilia too, but it's like this is literally exactly what I'm talking about, where it's like teams in amateur like leave themselves really open to just getting their game ended against a team that can win potentially in like 25 minutes. I feel like TF is definitely a bit harder into Saya and GP for sure. Like GG has some good neutralizers here. I feel like Blue still has agency though. And yeah, I feel like teams just don't really use the agency early very effectively. And then the scaling teams usually just win out. Anyways.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have much else to say about
A lot of
this
silence
draft.
there, damn.
No,
No, I think it's a good point. I was just looking at Kangas and Coco, man. They look cute.
I was considering what you're saying. I think obviously I agree. The only thing I'm thinking about is like Volibear really has to like make an impact before Lilia just like starts running circles around him, pretty much metaphorically and literally.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying generally with like the Hecarim. It's like Hecarim have a little bit less agency, or yeah, just a little bit less agency individually, but you know, more the team pick. But like, there are so many like mid jungle 2v2s that just opt into like Victor Hecarim versus like a Vol ATF or something like that. And obviously it's Lilia Victor here, but like to me that's like kind of just as bad.
Yeah,
But
I'm once again like this is like another game where like I know that TL is like dropping like the defensive ward to like do like the Raptor swap, but I still think that you can just like take Raptors for free level 1 if you go sweeper on Lilia. Also, interested to see Lilia going for the skirmishers instead of the slow.
Yeah, it's for the OP exhaust.
Yeah.
Just a crazy item. If anything, I'm surprised to see Grig go the blue smite.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, I think I'm like my guess is like this game's pretty quiet until like 6, but okay, tally.
This jungle path is really common. You're seeing this a lot more in Europe now.
Yep.
Where they go 3 camps and then they gank mid
I
when
like
they're
it a lot.
crossing.
Yep.
You know, you see it on Hecarim, you see it on Volley mostly. And
I like it a lot.
If you want to get funky with it and you want to play some Nidalee and
Yeah, you can do it on Nid
some
too.
Rek'Sai and some all that stuff, then go
Oh
for
god,
that too.
Rek'Sai, please no.
Jason Jungle.
Not the
Anyways.
ultimate cheeser dog.
Look,
Kiami?
man, we can either continue to
Oh, I love this. Love
serve
this.
meta, or we can break it.
Love this from TL. Here's what I wanted to see.
Back away. Yep. And it's good.
Yep.
I hate the
That's good.
TP. That TP is really cursed.
You have to wait until they start executing the play.
I think that's just a really big waste, in my opinion.
It's one of those things that that's one of those things that you're kind of like taught at a very like surface level. You're just like, if you have TP and you're getting dove, you TP to cover. Like people kind of just understand that, as opposed to understanding the nuances and the timings and all that sort of stuff that comes with it. They kind of understand the what, but don't fully necessarily understand the why. And then you have situations where if blue just says, okay, we're just pulling TPs on fake dive,
So I think
just
that
hard win out the situation.
I think that what Jensen's saying is that because that TP, like you use sack a little bit for Victor, but Volley's games like feels really bad now. And Fnatic did point out that like he didn't get Gromp 2, which he could have gotten. That would have really stung, but this Lilia is going to be zooming because this Volbear is yet to base. So that, I mean, like that is one like benefit still. Like I agree with you. Like the TP might have been fired a little bit too early. Like it does hurt Yunbi, but guy's still going to be farming up. Should be fine.
Yep, I agree. I also agree that you get Gromp too when you see.
Yeah, that was a good point from Fan.
Yes, you definitely do.
Yeah, Tim said he should have taken Gromp too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Lilia. So Lilia's just zoom in. Volley gets first base off. Also, do you guys know about Predator Volley at all? I haven't seen this yet. I have not been watching a lot of stuff outside Proving Grounds. This is taking up a lot of my time. Predator Volley.
Predator Volley. I don't know much. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I haven't been really impressed with a lot of the Volibear jungles that I've seen.
I still think Gragas Flex is better. I'm sorry.
No.
Yep.
I don't like Gragas.
I will not accept that slander.
I love Gragas Flex.
No.
Maybe Gragas top lane
that's silly.
But not
That's
Gragas
silly.
jungle. I don't like Gragas jungle unless
It's like Gragas jungle can like be used, but it's like no way better.
I'm seeing a lot of Volibears picked on R1, R2, and I'd rather see like a Gragas and just have that like kind of slot in.
Just go watch the way Europe. Just go watch the way Europe, or watch how Yankos uses volley and how they actually just shift their pressure and they're diving on cooldown, and it's.
I agree. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that the pick can be good. It's just like the way it's being utilized in amateur, where Proving Grounds specifically.
It's the same exact thing. You pick Olaf with like triple scaling lanes, and then your Olaf just full clears 4 times, and it's like, why did you even pick Olaf?
Yeah.
Like, that happened in that Solafide series, right? Where it was like LS was even saying, he was like, Olaf's not even responding to what's going on in the lanes. It's just kind of like farming, and it's just they just kind of farmed and then had like the Ori and the Ezreal and all that sort of stuff, and
Yeah, it feels
it
like there's
existed
nothing
just like
something
just a vibe.
Is
Something
this
is
gonna
missing.
get contested? Wait, why? Okay, hold on. This is kind of curious from TL. Why is Harry hovering topside? It feels like they're split on their call.
I have no idea.
I think because Meganar is timed out, so I feel like they're split between taking drag and going for dive. Like this would be a timer to like try and pressure Towie in the top lane with, you know, dive potentially, right? But it's kind of weird. I think they get away with it, but still. I would like to see TF just like hovering bot side just to make sure it's completely safe. And then that way you're gonna have Ayla fish for a couple dredge lines if.
For sure. Fan, do you mean like with the nerfs on 11.7, like Alistair Rel getting nerfed, and then like, you know, some people playing longer range stuff, not necessarily playing as much like Callista and Kaisa and all that? Like, is that what you're saying? Like other champs don't sync very well with volley? Is that why it feels bad? Because I think you're starting to see other champs replace it that can still sync with the Volibear. Things like Varus and Ashe and Braum, you can do. Oh, camp rotations. Okay, I thought you meant like champions. My bad. I was thinking conceptually.
Okay.
Oh yeah, my bad.
So this is a mistake from Tally. He's contesting the word when he should be getting the wave in, and Armeo's up here, and then he just gets wrecked. Have you tried
sure what you're talking
Everfrost
about.
Lilia?
No, I don't want to. Don't say those.
Yeah,
things.
it's pretty good.
After Frost Lilia.
Luden's Lilia into squishy teams, by the way, is that you get Luden's proc every ball with the new changes. Wait. They just denied it.
Okay, it's okay. Armeo gets it at least, but even then, you get Volley's Flash, which is like a really big cooldown.
Wait, did he pick it up? Oh, we did. Okay. Wait.
Did he die for it? Nope, he gets out. I'm pretty sure.
Wait.
But he just solo kill anyway because that's what GG
Oh,
do.
dude, they get. Oh, wait, that's actually really clean. Nautilus never got Aftershock off. That's really fucking clean. Dude, I think Nautilus. I was saying last year, I was kind of wrong about this, but like Nautilus is like really overrated as a champ because like you can like bully him like by denying Aftershock. He's like really squishy actually. That was back like before Leona became like the big pick to like counter him. When I was like, why not just play Leona? Because I hit GM playing Leona Braum because you know I have no hands, but I can play those champs.
Not gonna lie, my brain has been fried for the last like 20 minutes, and I don't know.
No, it's fine. That's usually what happens.
I
Like
mean, like to me, it's just really clear like that the game is not going to get accelerated early. So I'm just kind of waiting until like second Drake, third Drake.
This is a really good. Yeah, this is a really good repel from Rosethorn because he is. You can see her like with the Krugs, like right, like you would think now, like as a jungler, like you'd probably recall and like set up for like bot camps or taking the bot side.
Can you go back like 10-15 seconds? Wow.
So they're timing the TF ult and like they're seeing that Jenkins is stacking up this wave and he's gonna clear his top camps, right? But instead of resetting, he
right here.
No, keep going.
I was gonna say right here, it should be very apparent that they want to dive top.
Yeah.
The way he steps up high on that.
He's reading that. Yeah.
So Yumbi should hold his TP, and Chime should 100% be pathing top here. 100%.
Hold on. Can you go back a little bit? Can you go back like 10, 20 seconds? Look at what Ayla does. Hold on. Look. Pay attention to this. Where's he going?
That's a good question.
Oh, yeah. I mean, both supports are just not
they
using their timer correctly at all.
Yeah.
I was so focused on the cover, I didn't even look at blue
That's so
support.
cringe.
Yeah, no, he's up there for the 4-man by this point. No, that's a good point. Good grab.
See,
I feel like both supports. Skills, guys.
I feel like both supports made this really messy.
No, I think that Ayla made it messy,
should
but
hold his TP.
Ayla made it messy, but I really like the cover from Rosethorn. That's a good read.
Yeah. So, I'm just like, it was a cover. It should have been kills.
Yeah.
It should have been kills. Yeah,
if Ayla's there, and they executed right, it's kills. But still, like the thought process from Rosethorn was there. Chime wasn't on the same page, but it's good to see the thought process, right? Because like Like, with those timers, like, he could have based and, like, blitz to the bot camps that he had up and try to, like, contest the bot camps that are up for TLA, but he realized that his top's being dove, so he recognized that. That's good.
I don't know how often like people get in the habit of doing it. It's a pretty like simple thing, but it's like the difficulty comes in the repetition. It's just like every time you're in base, just checking the other lanes. Like I said it earlier a few hours ago, but it's just like
Sign those fucking F keys.
when when you're moving and support, you're basing as support, like you should be looking at mid and top wave states. And like, if I'm in base and then I see TF stepping up high like that and I know Volibear's top side, like, and my Victor spacing, I 100% know that shit's going top.
This is really bad wave state. It's like
For who?
now that I'm looking at it more and more, but Ayla is like just not doing anything. He's like AFK in lane, like so much this game. Like I noticed that one time and I'm seeing it more and more. Like GG are just getting so much setup. Like China's roaming mid, getting mid priority. Harry TP's back. He has more AP, has more items, and it feels like, at least like quote unquote feel like that TL are getting choked out despite them having the gold and item advantage at this point. Okay, at this point they drop Herald, so they force it. But if they didn't have Herald, I wouldn't be surprised if they just got choked out of vision.
Kind of weird that Yon takes a couple unnecessary cloud hits there. But I like that GG's seeding this. This is good.
Yeah.
It's the right
TL
play.
made good use of Herald too to force the priority. So like it has to respond to the pressure with like more than one person.
Yeah, it was good from Jenkins too. He had Mega in mid, right? He was ready for the fight. So that was good moves from both teams.
The only thing I'm really questioning is, does Yon really doesn't need Ayla in the lane, and when they see Chime, who's forcing mid pressure.
No, yeah, God no. Yeah, he should be mid more. I fully agree with that. Or he should have been top of that dive.
If he's going to lane, just push out with the Kaisa and then have the Kaisa shift into mid with you.
Also, like, I don't think the jungle support communication is like there, because not only is like Ayla not really doing anything, like I understand like if he just runs in the river alone, like and Rosethorn's there, like he's just gonna die because he doesn't have vision. But if Armeo can come with him, like it lets them like collapse together and like buy time for like everyone else to come, because they do have item and gold advantage at this point. On the bottom side, Ayla is lost. Yes, Ayla is lost. Their comms are to Herald bot, yeah, most likely. But
seems like Tally is going for the Reaver build and the Immortal Shield Bow in this matchup.
yep, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, and then this is just TL still. This is like the TL that I saw in the FlyQuest series, right? Like where they get like the Kaisa Udyr and they're able to like do shit like this, right? Where like they actually like they aren't blowing up the game early. I think they should have blown up the game, and a lot of the times they were doing this, they were doing it with not a TF mid. Like I saw them doing it with like weaker mages. Like we're still able to like play early, like Ori,
Yep.
Like this is closer to the team like I've seen on like they can consistently get these leads like in the early game when they draft for it, right? And like
Yeah, I think
they haven't blown up the game, which is a little concerning.
Oriana is like Harry's like best champion too.
Yeah, no, he's very good Ori. Damn, dude, Yunbi clearing out these waves on Victor is so satisfying. Actually, like just like the 1E Q auto.
Yeah,
I wish I was good enough to angle my lasers like that.
In a straight line, Matt?
Yeah. I can't do it, man. I can't do it, man. That's why that guy was going to med school. He's good with the lasers.
So we're back here, and I'm pretty sure TL throw here. They have a mid wave that they can stack Narbar off of, but granted, like if GG take the fight right away, Narbar go bye-bye. And
yeah, so,
Tally has TV angle.
So real quick before we dive into this, just answer Jensen's question in the chat. Yeah, so so the story that I got from XT, his old manager, it wasn't med school, but he was taking like high level classes, like, and then COVID hit, and then he just started like playing League again, and then he got really fucking good. But I think you'd have to talk, obviously, like, you know him better, but like that's the story I got from like XT, because I've used that on broadcast before, because I was really happy he got drafted in the scouting grounds because he's older, right? Like
Wait, Yunbi's been playing for like a hot minute though. Right?
exactly, yeah. Like he's older, but like
Okay.
he was transitioning like out of school and like taking like
Oh,
I
that's
think
fair.
graduate
Okay,
classes
okay. I
and
missed the
like
beginning part of
yeah,
it.
like so like he was like out of school. I don't know like exactly what happened, but yeah, it's
That's fair.
He's an engineering student, Young B. Jay.
that was it. Yeah. So I think like he was like wrapping up that shit, and then COVID hit, and he just started playing this game more, and he's a beast. So I was glad that he got picked up. I thought that some of the teams would not pick him up just because of like his age, but yeah. Okay, so they get Jenkins Flash, which is
No, it's not that bad. Well, like it's
yeah, it was pretty
bad.
expensive Flash for Chime, but
Yeah, exactly. Like we're talking about. Okay, now this is cringe. You want to talk about cringe?
oh,
Let's go.
Harry, he didn't respect it.
And Armeo doesn't really accomplish much, and then good stopwatches. And then
This is
like,
yeah, no, I like this from GG because like obviously like their comp is like very good disengaged, right, with the Victor Zaya, and they repel this rather well. But I
my
kind of want to slow
God.
this down. So Harry gets just wrecked here by the barrel by Tally. That's really good placement. That's an easy trade for Chime. Where's Aowa's depth charge? That's what I'm looking for. There it is.
He's on the
There it
list.
is. There it is. There it is. Yeah, it's
Not
like
very
that depth
good.
charge is not able to get any impact, right? Because they already lost too. And Harry can't TP back in this fight, so this is big for Golden Guardians.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Buys a lot of time.
So Rosethorn, just to get that straight, he gets level 12 GP tally gap.
I mean,
He hit it in the brush. It's really good. Rosethorn, just get it straight. He was taking engineering classes, right? And then COVID hit. I talked to XT about this, so that's like I just want to make sure I have my shit straight in case I want to reference it on if I'm casting any of you guys' games.
yeah, that's them. But that's what I heard from.
Yeah. Because that is a cool storyline. At least I think I like to try and get those in. Yeah, something like that. Okay. Same answer. That was a really good barrel hide from Tally in the brush.
I think it was
I might
Young.
double check with him. Yeah, I might double check with him. Yeah, because I was talking to XT about it because he was his old manager with XT Esports.
I heard the medical school story before somewhere. I don't remember where.
Yeah, it's probably from me because I know I've said that on broadcast before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But if that's wrong, that's unacceptable. So I want to make sure I get that right. Cosmic Drive TF. Okay. APA thoughts.
Oh no!
So
Why wouldn't you
fucking
rapid
bad.
fire? Yeah, why wouldn't you rapid fire?
So you can go first.
I guess he wants more alts.
Oh.
Because like a lot of the move speed you get from Cosmic Drive, like you get that from rapid fire, right? Like, and then you
Yep.
get the bonus range, which is
Yeah. I mean,
the haste is good, but like I would rather outrange people.
why would you want to outrange a GP and a Victor and a Zaya, right?
Your deadpan makes it hard to.
That joke would have landed
That's
a bit
true.
better
That's
in the
true,
first
yeah.
hour or two.
I mean,
Yeah,
at
exactly.
least you could like maybe like you can like use it to like get a cleanse out of Prismal, right? Or like shit like that. Yeah, I know it's tough, but still.
You hit it on Rosethorn, and then like Tim's like,
When you say no RFC is a bit grief, do you mean the fact that he didn't build it, or if he built it, it would be
No,
grief?
he's saying the fact that there is no rapid fire cannon in the second slot of this guy's inventory is indeed grief.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify.
40
Yeah.
ability haste is poggers, but I mean, I don't want.
At least I
ability haste.
hope. At least I hope that's what.
Yeah,
he-
yeah.
what he
Okay,
means.
dude, actually, low key, the Strompist Cosmic Drive Rush Vigar is a fucking
Okay,
awesome
man.
build.
But Strumpist is like.
It's
Okay,
actually
Strumpist
cracked.
is the only player that I've ever heard of that has like spreadsheets.
Yeah?
That he does like calculations on.
Wait, really?
Like,
Yeah.
He calculated Murim, Manami, and Silas versus.
Oh, there's
Cosmic Drive
definitely. I mean, that's definitely good. Like, more players should do that, but there's
Yeah,
definitely
without
some
caring
out
about
there that
RFC. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like at least like it's a way to like pressure your long range team because you have a very long range team,
do that.
right?
Especially as Zaya. That's huge.
Yeah,
bro.
Zaya is not very long range,
That is
just
massive.
which is autoing.
Jenkins
Yeah,
is hot.
for real.
No hourglass for Victor. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, you
well,
guys.
they
You guys
trade.
both have. You guys both have good points.
Yeah, no, dude, Victor on these items is actually huge as hell.
Yep.
He's a thick boy. He's a rich girl.
Tier is such a repulsive item, man. I hate that. Like whenever
Tier's
I see
too
tier,
strong?
no. If anything, it's the opposite. I hate building tier. But like I understand, like, oh, I got this big spike. But then
Dude,
it's like,
Serap's, I think Serap's is a sick item. It's just that the gold break points feel kind of bad.
I'm basically baiting APA by saying that, by the way. So
Yeah,
now
I
he's
know.
gonna run it and be like, yeah, well, actually, I did the calculations, and if you base it this time, you get the tier for free. And it's like, okay, APA.
Did you see his last tweet? He was talking about how you can get
That's smart. Like I agree. Like good job, APA. Like, but
spreadsheets.
like even we were talking about it before, like how much he loves tier, and I was like, yeah, it's good, but it still feels bad.
I've seen him skip tier though in some builds to get Verdant.
Yeah,
He was
I
doing
mean,
that quite
yeah.
a bit. As maybe.
Y'all. Okay, we go back. I was distracted.
So TL just so this is off of Unib's gray screen, and he doesn't TP mid, so he's grabbing the bot wave. So I guess they're kind of seeding this, but they're not.
Youngbee's is really late.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
yeah,
100 Rosethorn without him being able to flash or use Sonya's, which is really good.
yeah, it's
And
a good play from
Ayla
Jenkins.
is a sick hook. It was a great hook, and just snipes out Chime.
We've hit
like
fourth
this-
Drake. It's time for the game to start.
Yeah, I mean, this is where
yes.
starts to play.
That was really good play from Jenkins. Played third Drake right. That would have been Soul. Yeah, no, they did look much better in this game compared to the 3 other games of this tournament. But I guess just too late. Dude, I cannot believe they got fucking 0-4 out of this. I had them as my strongest team going in. The first team eliminated too, like just because like how the schedule works, right? Feels fucking bad. Wait. Hold on. Prismal, you fuck. This is a dirty Baron. I guess they see Jenkins bot with no TP and they just burn. Wow, that's rough. Yeah, you can't show bot without mid crashing there. They just don't see anyone. They just go. That's ballsy, but it works. I assume.
Yeah, they do it fast. Hey, it's fine.
Yeah, and then just get out.
Nice disengage. Yep.
I know you called that one, dirty bastard. You just snuck that right under their chins. That's huge. Yeah, no, that's what I figured. Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay. Sonya's third item. Twisted Fate, it really never ends, does it? Yo, I think like in OS, I don't think like RFC is an item in their shop. Like that's the only conclusion I can come to.
Who else hurt you? Like, what is? Like, was there other OS players not doing RFC? Or, or
Chaz?
this one just got you really down bad?
That's 8 Australians.
Get it?
Oh my god.
Hee hee.
Yeah. I don't really have an answer. I wish I did.
No, I mean the build's just terrible.
Remember when
low flow Johnson Tally would have bought
RFC.
RFC.
Holy
put him on
shit.
the man. Anyways, like it's funny how just like an hour ago we were talking, or 2 hours ago we were talking about like, yeah, builds seem like the lowest common denominator, but it basically feels like
We're just fucking
You're-
shitting on the build.
What
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just
it's so essential though. Like this champion is like, it's so integral to his champion. It feels like playing like, what's a good example?
Speaking of Gangplank, you got your LDR wish, or the Last Whisper wish, yeah.
This is good. I like this on Gangplank.
Chungors without Chemtank. Oh, Lilia went Moonstone this game too.
Five lane dies. We've seen this one before.
Oh, okay, so this is why you were complaining about Harry's side then.
Yeah, not only that, it was the casting game. Like he just gets caught randomly all the time.
Wait, why is he opts into this one?
He's in. I didn't even see this. I just thought he got caught in the sideline.
What?
He actually props for this. He has full vision of all people on the entire team, and he still does this. Does he?
Oh, that's rough.
What?
Dude, that is
Yeah.
that is reportable by the Summoner's Code, guys.
Really high on Harry. I was really, really high on this dude. I really wanted him
Oh
to
god.
succeed.
That was rough,
so
yeah.
disappointed this week and last week. I legitimately thought he was like the best mid laner in Academy.
Dude, everyone was hyping up Pretty to me, and Pretty didn't have his. I also think Pretty's good on control mages, like a lot, and he plays wave well, but he didn't have the best showing the first set they
Do
played.
you guys consider like Demonte and Ryoma to be a part of that?
No,
discussion?
Ryoma was the best when he was playing. Ryoma was the best when he
You
was
do
playing.
not consider Demonte?
I do not consider Demonte. I consider
Okay.
Ryoma, and I do not think Ryoma was the best mid laner.
Yeah, he
I was
was.
gonna say Demonte is probably my vote for best mid.
I don't consider Demonte because I think the majority
He's
of
an
games,
LTS player, to be honest.
the majority of games have been, to my knowledge.
Honestly,
I
I've not been impressed by a lot of the mids in Academy in the split. I know that there are a couple like developing ones like Copy Yunbi or Fresh, right? And I think they have a lot of upside. And like watching Yunbi in this game and how he plays map versus like the first few games of Cup is a breath of fresh air. He's come a long way.
I've always said this, and I'm just gonna say it again. I think Yunbi has one of the highest mechanical ceilings out of all.
No, he
mid-laners,
does.
and
He's a fucking baller. Honestly, the only mid that's impressed me is JoJo. Like seriously.
Yeah,
Like,
JoJo is good. I think
yeah.
just thinking about when I play solo queue and like the mid laners, like even when I play against or even when like I don't play much solo queue anymore, but when I really did, and I would play against like Jensen or Bjergsen, and I was playing against like Yunbi was like right up there with him. Like, and he was even better than a lot of the LCS mid laners on his champions like Ryze and stuff like that.
Diana.
Yep.
I just want to see
LeBlanc,
Diana,
too.
man. Yeah.
Yep.
LeBlanc was the big one.
Again? It's a Gangplank. Dude, Wolverine
And
was
look
wrong
at-
about
look
the
at-
Karma
look at-
pick.
Look at mid and look at mid wave and look
Yep.
at
It's
top
the,
wave as well.
it's the Gangplank mind control.
As Baron is
Oh, yikes.
Who could have done this?
and you have your neutral lane
Oh,
fully
my
pushed out, and you
goodness.
get like a minute timer to where you guys can all base and you can run topside and collect your
Ouch.
waves, push them out, sweep
Ouch,
out your
ouch, ouch,
jungle, and then
ouch.
get Baron set up.
Yeah, ouch.
It's okay. TF will get RFC 6th item. We're getting there. Holy shit.
No, he's
Man.
going Lich Bane boss, sorry.
Yeah, that's gonna be like a death cap.
No, I was I was literally about to say that. I was literally about to say this is a death cap angle if we're
Yeah.
gonna continue on this this streak.
I'm losing
Oh,
it.
that's-
He's
Dude.
molding. Guys, if this was Kelsey's stream, we would have a burger flip for Prussian. He has
I've
flipped the
exited.
burger.
I've exited.
That's one they end.
It's one land.
Yeah, I mean at this point, I really hate bringing this stuff up just because I don't want to draw these conclusions about people without knowing for sure. But from considering the amount of league that we've watched so far, Proving Grounds league that we've watched right now, like the past two plays to me did feel like a bit of emotional gaming.
Oh yeah, it felt tilted as shit.
Like,
These guys are way
I
better
don't like
than
bringing
that.
that stuff up because it's
No,
like
yeah,
impossible
absolutely.
to confirm that shit. But it's
Yeah.
just the difference in the play from the first game, like the
The
way he
TL was
plays the
playing
first
his way
90% of
pretty
the
well, yeah.
series compared
Yeah.
to the last two plays, and not just him, maybe a team thing too.
Yeah, that's not the play we've seen out of Harry.
Oh, it's just the team, you know, because it
Yeah.
could also be the side lane calling for it too. You
Yeah.
know, and it's TF's function in different ways.
Jensen, if you want to go back to the IMTA series, I actually have everything on my YouTube, so you can check that one out. But
Yeah, no, we'll be watching.
yeah, there you go. I'm pretty fair and unbiased, and it depends on if I have guests or not on the day. Like I kind of like let them dictate shit because I'm of the mindset that like just give people a platform and just have some discussion. And if you like the ideas, that's great. If not, then you're free to decide on your own too.
The
Hopefully
thing
we're
is
getting some
I
good
still
stuff.
don't think like TLA is like a terrible team or anything. Like
No,
it is
they were
so-
the best team in Academy coming up. Like
They
into
are
this.
tilted out of their minds. I thought that they were #1 coming in this tournament. No
Yeah,
joke.
me too. Me too. Like
The
after
undisputed
Northern
first-
Arena and Academy and like what we saw, yeah. I mean, I thought like they had some exploitable weaknesses, like Armeo off of Tempo junglers and then Yon off of Kaisa has like some spacing issues. I thought like that could be punished, but Not like this.
They got tilted.
Not like this, yeah.
Also, GG just basically did what Barrage did, and like Barrage just like told GG how to win the game.
I think that both GG and Barrage pick really good fight timers when summoners are down, and we saw that in this the series. Holy stopwatch from Prismal. Wait, Jenkins? Wait, how? All right, Prismal. The fact that you lived at that health amount for that long is kind of illegal, but Unity carries it through.
It's just, you know.
APA, you're right about that though, man. Like that is a good. That's worth.
Yeah.
Like talking about.
They have to make plays. It's
worth talking about for sure.
I will say that Barrage, one of the things I actually really respect about Barrage that I wish I'd see out of more academy teams is the fact that, like, I know, like, we were just kind of like shitting on TL for this because it was pretty bad, but like going for like flips and like overreaches when like you have a game where it's like, guys, if we're the early game team, we're behind, like we need this shit, right?
Well, yeah, I was about to say that was like unironically the first tier 2 side lane dope we've seen in the 4 games, but you know, it just so happened to be at the wrong timer.
Yeah, and Harry gets one tap too. Hurricane gap.
So Tallywhacker gap.
Tallywhacker.
Tallywhacker.
Dude, I remember it taught like because like doing like those broadcasts with like Skimmy, and like the first 3 days we did, like the Oz players just got like smoked in like fast 2-0s. And he's like, man, dude, I'm the fucking curse. And, like his like accent. So I'm like DMing like all these guys, like wishing them luck, and like they just like blow.
Yeah, I mean, I feel kind of bad for them because I don't know.
APA, I think you would be able to play the side lane a bit more, like when you have the RFC and stuff, and then like, you know, I would argue also, like, so you are 100% right, but I would argue also like part of being a top team is being comfortable in these sorts of situations, you know, especially when you have like, aside from your AD, like you have a majority of players that have experience in like high pressure matches. Like if you're down 0-1 in a series, like you need the composure to bounce back. And yeah, the onus is on you, but like those are some of the things that you need to be able to do as like a top competitor, you know. So like you're right for sure. Just
Coco couldn't believe it. Two surprising results.
I mean, I get tilted just watching it.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining me tonight. We finished at 2, so that's not bad.
Jeez.
when did we start? Like 10:30.
11:30, right?
11:30. Yeah. So 3. So that's actually pretty good. Like on par on average.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Considering I spent 2 hours VoD reviewing one LPL game yesterday.
Yeah. Well, we got like a little bit like more in depth about that. I was like definitely like the right platform to do it, right? So that was fun.
To be fair, yeah.
But thanks for joining me for this. We'll go Prussian and then Zoo. But you know, all you. Any shout outs you want to give? Where can we find you? All that good shit. I had socials like as a command on here if you guys like want to, or guests if you guys want to check them out on Twitter. But yeah.
Shout outs. Can't wait to play IMTA on Friday. And that's it for me. I don't need to shout out anything.
All right. Follow Prussian on Twitter and YouTube. He's got good content. And go Wildcard. That's the marketer in me, you know, helping you out, right?
True.
Yeah. All right. What about you, Zoo?
I would say follow Maryville GG on Twitter. It's actually every social of ours: Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, all that stuff at Maryville GG. We just uploaded a new little like docu-series video about our time versus Illinois State.
It's really good too.
You know, Shipley did a really good job with that. For people who don't know, Shipley comes from like United, and they were like COD champs and all that, so he does really good content. And you know, besides that, we have our Missouri Masters, which is our second high school invitational. That starts this weekend, or it's just starts and ends. It's a 2-day thing. But that's the 9th and the 10th of April. And then besides that, we will have our B team being on stream UPL on Friday night. Our B team's been playing pretty well together. Granted, we took like a week and a half break for spring break, but we're using UPL to try out some like roster stuff and showcase some of the guys that didn't really get much time because of Proving Grounds. So check them out. Those guys are definitely worth a look. And yeah, just support the players and support the program. Cool.
Sweet.
Thanks.
All right, I'm gonna hop out of the call then. Thanks for joining me, both of you. This was a lot of fun. I appreciate you like pinging me and saying like, hey, this would be fun to come on, and yeah, it was a good discussion. So it was fun having two people on too. You guys could bounce shit off each other. It was a good time.
Have a nice night, guys.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll
see
catch
ya.
y'all later. Peace.
Okay, guys, it's just me. We got some housekeeping to do, and then we're gonna raid someone, as is tradition. So if you have any good candidates to raid that are playing on any of these teams, go for it. And yeah, no, Frank, I'm glad that you thought it was fun to listen to, man. I think it's like one of the things like we've always talked about, like not a lot of people like to have public conversation about these games, and I think it's for me, it's like this is the homework that I do to make sure I'm like prepped to do an event. So I was like, with the big event, I'm not on as much, so I was like, yeah, this will give me something to do. I'll stream it, and also I can put on some guests and have them on and see what they have. Time to go watch the IMTA review and be sad. That was a pretty close series. Tough loss, but yeah. EGP's, there's no crime in losing to them. They got some really good talents over there, man. I am on the Shiro hype train for sure. But before we go today, I've got to do my predictions for tomorrow, and we have to give our Player of the Day award, which honestly, pretty tough one today, I must say. Actually, no, it's not tough at all. Player of the Day goes to Chime, man. Chime was on fucking fire today. Thought Chime played really, really well. Who are my honorable mentions, though? Who else had a good day? I think Rhino had a good day, even though they lost. He'll be an honorable mention. Rel's just OP, I guess. Yeah, King. King for sure. I'm not. I think Isles had a decent game, but like it wasn't like he's close. Dude, Prismo had a nice game, man, but Chime was setting you guys up so pretty every single day or every single game. All right, we'll give one the Dark Wings for the nasty game too. Yeah, no, you're right about that. We'll give them a little bit of love there. Trying to think if there's like anyone else in the Wizards' efforts that like deserved it. TL looked rough, man. It was tough. I feel bad giving 2 to Zuzi and they lost and only won the C9. I know that we were picking on Schernfire for his game 2, but his game 3 he brought it back and had a really nice early path. I thought he played well. Schern's been impressive. He was almost my player of the day this first day we saw him, but no. All right, now series for tomorrow. If I was bottom 5 team, I'd take Shern for LCS. Yeah, I'd be curious. I mean, when he subbed in for TL, like he struggled against the top teams, but he didn't look too much like a fish out of water. I know that he was, but I would still take other junglers that, like I think that Anda not being in, like I would take Anda first. I think Anda's like unironically one of the best junglers this tournament. Also Contracts, who popped off too. I know that you have like a lot of experience with him, and I respect you hyping up your boys, but yeah. Dude, Kenvi. Oh, man. Kenvi is going to be so fucking good in LCS, man. It feels like he should be LCS next year. Dude, that, like, half of 100 Thieves games are just straight up Kenvi gaps, man. I shit you not. I mean, like, you guys, like, all watch the games too, but. Alright, matchups for tomorrow. Oh, and also, I know I'm, like, a little bit sporadic here as we wrap up. I do not have my guests concrete for tomorrow. I'm working on that. I will ask them probably during the day tomorrow. I need to catch up with that. Because I've been quieter on the broadcast schedule, I've had to catch up with like a lot of coaching stuff, and I got a player going through a tryout. Another player is a part of a program at the moment. And we also have had my one player is Elo got high enough where he doesn't qualify to play in Risen Divine anymore, so I have to like help a good support player like learn some shit about mid, which could help him in the long run. So I don't feel too bad about that. So I've been catching up with that shit. This does help, though, because this helps me be a better coach. But, oh, shit. I have to predict 100A versus EGA? Fuck. That's a tough one. And then Fly A versus CLGA. Okay. I think that we might have some 3-game series tomorrow. Honestly, this one's tough because both teams play a very similar style, and I think that COG had a more impressive loss against 100 Thieves than FlyQuest did against EG, even though I think both those teams are real good. And I think this was hands down the second hardest quadrant of the bracket, besides the one that NoOrg and TL were in. With NoOrg, TL, GGA, Barrage was the hardest quadrant in the bracket. This one was the second hardest, the games that we're going to have tomorrow. So this is a little bit tough. Yeah, man, they look decent against 100A. Like, I know the 100A overextended, but Hooks did a really good job of matching support roams. I thought that he played really well. He was in my write-up, too. Shit's gonna be a 3-0. Well, you might not like what I say about your EG boys. We'll see. I think that FlyQuest have a really, really, really good mid-game setups. But COG were able to find some good teamfight angles, and I'm curious to see if they're going to be able to find those against FlyQuest. Because they were behind against 100A, and 100A's macro, like, around control of, like, objectives, honestly, is not as good as FlyQuest. But I have faith that, like, Hooks actually played pretty decent in that loss. So, yeah. Shit, dude. The 100A one, EGA one's real tough, actually. Because I think they both, like, play the same way. Okay, I'm basing this off of who has choices side. Unironically. I think that both play, like, to win by hands. And I would take Luger Poom over Shoryu Mystiques. Because I think that Luger is actually the... Luger's fucking sick, man. I think Luger's the best AD that's in Academy. And his short stint that he's been over here, he's already just been nuts. And I think that Kenvi Contracts is actually a super duper hype matchup. I think Contracts can get the best of him. But I think that, like, both teams play, like, through early game and, like, winning with, like, mechanics and in the early game. And I think that DeMonte and, like, his experience is going to be where they're really going to be able to thrive. I think that JoJo's champ pool is not, like... He can take some more scaling stuff. Like, most of his stuff, like, isn't going to just, like, bang early lane. So I think that 100 Thieves, like, might have a gap to do something with the first 3 waves. And I think that DeMonte Poom roam well enough to make that happen. So that's why I'm going to put... And they have side select. So I think that they should take red against EGA so they get counter. Because Tony Top can use counters really well. JoJo, yeah, he's got some different picks. He's younger, and I think that given his background and, like, how fucking talented and good he is at this game, I mean, like, where he's at right now is just unbelievable, man. I wish I was that talented at that age. Like, geez, I was a decent golfer, but God, not anywhere close to, you know, any of this shit. Just crazy. Anyway, let's find someone to raid. But I appreciate all of you guys hanging around. Jensen, I know that you're a little bit newer around here. Appreciate chatting with you. And even though I'm going to, you know, vote that I think that Wildcard's going to beat you guys, I wish you guys the best of luck in that match. That's actually a really close best of 3. I'm casting that one, so I'm really excited to cast that. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, Niles is live. We'll raid Niles. Niles got the GGA.